I need that sports encyclopedia. Where you at, Steve Kim? Got Trent in the cut. Yeah. Where you at, man? In the gym shooting, I'm Durant. You ain't shooting John Moran.
Darnell is the Ball State legend. I'm the Warren Central High School legend.
I'm proving with a reliable source, straight from the mouth of the horse. Smitty and JB and Smitty from West Coast to Yost.
I love talking ball. It's nice to connect with guys that are like-minded and just are real and genuine.
Better stay in your lane. Hop into
you are fucking insane. Dude, what? You just will not give this guy his flowers. What is wrong with you?
Oh, you must have thought I was a bitch.
I am him. You's not it. What's the topic? With your logic when I flow. Big Komodo, how it's talking.
You gotta get back to letting the baby cry a little bit to see if they can soothe themselves.
That's a bar.
Issues get pressed so fast you don't get sacked like bags and baggage. Smitty and Jason Brown killed it, yeah, it's a rap. We what the game's been missing, we switched it and filled the gap.
I identified him after his third fight and I said that guy can be a star.
I'm so proud of the show, bro.
The gap. Smitty and Jason Brown.
Coach JB show.
What up? We are in the building. It is Tell the Truth Thursday, Truth Telling Thursday. We got a loaded show today. Steve Kim joins us, plus in about 25 minutes, our lawyer extraordinaire, Michelle Kirkpatrick, joins us. We're going to break down the NIL lawsuit between Florida and Jaden Rashad. So stay tuned for that. Pound that like, subscribe, become a member if you're not one. And become a member of our Slap Nation Discord. Plus, winnable.com/slap-picks are always hitting. So, cappers from every sport with us. Go over there to be the next big winner. Subscribe to our First Down plan today. Let's get into it. We got a lot going on. Anthony Edwards is a future star for sure. But last night proved that he is not ready for the big time just yet. Luka showed what a superstar looks like versus a superstar to be. Kyrie showed Anthony in the beginning. Luka showed him at the end to what it takes to actually be a true superstar in today's NBA playoffs. Will he figure it out game 2? That is the real question moving forward. Or will Smitty's prediction of the Mavs making the finals become reality? We're going to dive into that. Mavs T-Wolves game 1, as you know, you saw it, and the Mavs pull away late to win that by 3. Louisville, the city of Louisville, is probably not dropping charges versus Scotty Scheffler after all. So I was probably wrong with what I figured would be a pure charges all dropped, move on. We know it's a pro golfer, blah, blah, blah. But apparently, since we won't arrest squatters out here in Cali or pedos anywhere else, we'll let them pass. The DAs let them guys pass. But apparently, they're worried about a pro golfer. This is hard, but guess what? It sure sums up America as of late. NASCAR hits Stenhouse with historic fighting fine after the brawl last weekend that you got to see. Mahomes talks about Bucker and Rashee Rice during camp. And Andy Reid as well breaks down the whole Butker situation. But before we begin and get right to it, we got our guest coming out the gate in about 20 minutes. Let's begin with our co-host, legendary Naptown's finest, 317 Far East Side great and AR5 defending Lamar Jackson loving, LeBron hairline having, and Caitlin Clark swinging, Fox Sports' very own. Welcome, Big Smitty. Clap it up.
Yeah.
What is
Big
that?
Smitty.
What you know about that?
It's an authentic cohiba from Mexico, across the border, brought around here.
What side do you like? What side do you like right now?
So this is the paper side. Do not like the paper side. That's so you gonna cut from here so you can smoke from here. You light up this side though. What's going on, JB, man? How you feeling, player, man? What's going on, Chad? I see Eric Rivera's right here. D. Porras, Casey, baby girl. Big Smitty is back, and I got 8 hours of sleep for the first time in 8 years. I feel incredible right now.
I feel horrific. I just got in the door.
From where?
Hanging out with Pat in San Diego.
How was it? I forgot you went to San Diego yesterday. How was it?
Yeah, we chilled, cooked, ate, drank, and then, I mean, he got one of his houses right on the beach down in La Jolla. It was unbelievable setting.
One of them.
Yeah, it's out California house.
How many houses he got over here? What the fuck?
I mean, he live in Scottsdale, and then he got, he's from San Diego, so of course he has to have a house.
It's two.
Yeah.
Ask Pat if I can rent out his San Diego house, and like I'll pay him every month on time.
It's on the market. It's actually on the market for $59 million.
Oh, never mind.
That shit crazy as hell, dog. That shit is it's like ridiculous. But anyway,
he rich.
San Diego though letting everybody in. By the way, all kind of motherfuckers just letting in, coming right over. We were watching them just come swimming up and shit.
You was watching them swim over the border.
Not the border. They're just swimming up to the beach.
No border. Just watching them swim to the beach.
They swam from where you was at.
Oh, from all the way. That's a long swim. Was they doggy paddling or was they like swimming? Like
I don't know. They just roll up.
Like with all their luggage, everything.
Yeah.
That's impressive, man, to swim that long with all your luggage and shit like that. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Were you a little nervous just seeing them? I mean, not knowing where they're coming from. Were you scared a little bit?
No, we had the red laser scope, little dots on them.
It's gonna be a good show, man. I heard you say Michelle's coming on today. I ain't seen Michelle since college football season when Michigan won. It's been a long time, so I'm excited. What
is it?
Since Michigan won, I think. I don't remember her being on since Michigan won. So I'm excited to see her come on and catch up with her and learn more about this case. And I'm excited to whoop your ass on this show again. I mean, I kind of get tired of doing it though. Like sometimes I'm like, I wake up in the morning, I'm like, should I let JB this win today? Because I want your confidence to stay high, and I don't want you to get to a point where you feel like your co-host is outdoing you. Because that's when the drama starts. Kobe, Shaq, you know what I mean? So I'm like, fuck.
That'd be detriment. Jared Brandt in the house said $59 million cap. JB capping ain't nothing. $59 million. Will you tell this guy in California what the housing market's about?
Bro, bare minimum, a house is gonna be over $1 million. Like the cheapest house in the hood. In the hood, gonna be over $1 million.
People just be talking. Motherfuckers from like Indianapolis, like Jared Brandt, just be talking. He ain't
from Indianapolis.
Has no clue what the market is. God damn, I mean, this is unbelievable. These motherfuckers just anyway.
My rent is more than JB's mortgage right now, like way more.
And you live in a 200 square foot.
Don't do me like that. My shit kind of big now. It ain't big as your house, but it's big.
Kind of big. Your apartment grew?
No, I moved. Remember, I moved a few months ago.
I know. I'm just saying.
My shit a lot bigger than my last apartment was small as shit.
Yeah,
you couldn't even come over my shit. But now I got a little space. I got a hallway, echo. Hello. You know, it's a little bit more space in here.
I still hear it. Let's dive right into the quote of the day, brought to you by Bet Online.
What up, man? The real Coach JB here for the Coach JB Show with Big Smitty. We got a proud new sponsor, of course, for the second part of the year, and that's Bet Online. Continue to be your number one source for all basketball wagering needs, including pro and college hoops throughout the year. March Madness is here. Join us every Monday and Friday with Jeff Nadu as we will pick them and up-to-minute odds, stats, and trends. You can follow your favorite team's path to the playoffs with in-game live betting, contests, and all the best player props. Experience the world's best wagering platform anytime from your desktop to your mobile device. Head on over to Bet Online today. Become part of the team and remember to use promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, for 50% off plus welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet Online, where the game starts. Peace.
So hold up, that dude really is from Indianapolis.
I know. I thought like, was you just playing around at first?
Yeah, I don't know this motherfucking nobody. I don't know his ass. Hey, bottom line is
Shout out to Jared.
Great fucking judge of character. Am I not? I'm telling you. You guys better stop fuck with me. I'm just telling you, dog. This motherfucker ain't been out of shanty in Indianapolis. How the fuck do you know what costs a lot of money? You go and shop at fucking White Castle, motherfucker. You think you know the price of the market in LA, in California, and San Diego? I think San Diego let me make sure. Per capita is the most expensive rent district in all of the United States. Just throwing that out there. So, yes, it's a little different than fucking Indiana. Sorry. Quote of the day, Smitty. I got real ones for everybody, just like I always do. You know how it goes. 99% of the time, the hardest battle is against yourself. That is just true. It ain't about nobody else. 99% of the time, your hardest battle is against yourself. Jared.
Leave Jared alone. He with the balls.
Contrary to belief. Brought to you by Prize Picks. Head on over there. The person you took for granted today may turn out to be the person you need tomorrow.
That's facts. That's
Jared.
Facts. Excuse me. That's real rap though. Like,
was that a man sneeze?
What's a man sneeze and a woman sneeze? What's the difference?
That's kind of like what that was.
Like, show me what a man sneeze is though. Like show me how it would look.
Something. I don't know. I don't sneeze. I don't know. That shit. Your shit was like choo choo.
This dude said I don't sneeze. I ain't never heard him say I don't sneeze. He said he said I don't bleed. I don't sneeze. He don't piss. He don't do nothing. Like he just here.
That motherfucker's like chew. What kind of shit is that? I know my sneeze ain't gonna sound like that when I do sneeze.
that sneeze was powerful. You better rewind that moment. And I had the swag with it because I dabbed with it. Like it was dinner a good swag sneeze.
Only soft motherfuckers sneeze.
Hey D Jones, what's wrong with your man? I don't sneeze is crazy as hell. Hey, look at your followers, your supporters. Smitty's soft as hell because I sneeze. Ain't that a bitch? You can't even sneeze in 2024 without being soft.
You can't win for losing on this show.
It doesn't matter what. Hey, whatever JB say, if they support you, that's the fucking Bible. Like that's what it is. Like Smitty, you for it? You a bitch. Oh, Smitty a bitch. Like damn, like that's what it is.
Dang, when we grew up, we didn't sneeze in the 80s, homie. I'm just saying.
I didn't sneeze in Compton. I hear you.
I'm just saying. I don't know. Poll question, Smitty. Let's dive into it. You said it. I don't know if that's true, but can the Mavs really win it all? You think they're going to the finals and losing to the Celtics? So Luka and Kyrie combined for 88 points, and the superstar that you said 2 weeks ago is the best thing going and all this old shit hasn't scored 20 points in 2 straight games. Bad. I think he realized that there's a difference in this superstar from star to be superstar to already superstar, and he's facing 2 of them. He saw it late in the game. Luka took the game over. Like Timberwolves were pretty much in control the whole game. It was a close game the whole game, but they were up usually by 3, 1, 3. Seemed to have control, and then Luka just took over. The Dallas goes up 5-3, and then it ends up being a 3-point game. But I think Ant realized, and maybe he's gonna mature, during this series. But he went from scoring 4 40s in a row to now having 2 under 20-point performances. They got to have him score to win. They don't have enough scores. And if it wasn't for McDaniel's late surge in the last 4 games, 3 in a row versus Denver, he balled. He balled again last night for the most part. But he has to, you got to have the others, but the star has to ball. So can the Mavs really win this thing? I don't know, because the Celtics don't have the dog in them. I'm not impressed. Is there game 2 tonight with the Pacers?
Yep, game 2 tonight.
We're gonna see. Like you said, they either blow the Pacers out, or the Pacers, or the Celtics do what they do and they lose game 2 at home. I think 2 series in a row. So we'll see. It's gonna be the trend, but I don't know, man. Luka and Kyrie showed the youngster what a superstar is. I think. I don't know if he's ready to be.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I mean, Kyrie had got interviewed after the first quarter, and the reporter had asked him, like, hey, usually, you turn it on in the second half and kind of take your time in the first half. They were like, what was your approach? Like, why was your approach different in this game? He said, listen, I've been here before, so I have to come out here and like let my team know, like, this is the standard. And I think aggressive Kyrie is unstoppable. I put that out on Twitter during the game. I love when he's aggressive because his offensive bag is incredible. Like, I know we got to stop comparing people to Kobe, but Kobe was his like favorite player and his idol, and he called Kobe after he won his championship in Cleveland and was like, "It worked, Kobe, it worked. What you said worked," and like he gives him a lot of credit. So I do see, from a skill set standpoint, I do see some Kobe-esque things in Kyrie's, weaponry, if you will, just the ability to shoot with the left hand, the right hand, left shoulder, right shoulder, the finishes. Like, it's incredible to watch. And to see him start the game off on fire in the first half, and then see Lucas, he went on like a 7-0 or 10-0 scoring run by himself, like late in the game. Timberwolves rallied, came back, but then Luka eventually closed. It was great to see. And to answer your question, I do think the Mavs could win it all. Like, I think they have the ingredients to win it all. Just because, again, Kyrie and Luka, they actually like each other. I think you can see it on the court. Now, I think it's important for your stars to actually coexist and get along, and their games kind of go with each other. And then you think about the others that Shaq likes to say. PJ Washington, man, just a hustler who plays solid defense and knocks down that corner three like no other. Lively, like all these other guys who don't look, don't have the sexy resumes on paper, but they go out there and they fit this team. And I got to give Jason Kidd a ton of credit, man, for just figuring out a way to motivate this team. They play hard every night. I even saw Luka playing a little bit of defense yesterday, which was good to see. And man, like I think I told you guys at the beginning of the playoffs, I was like, man, there's something about the Mavs that I can't put my finger on it, but they seem to have the it factor. Now, only reason why I have the Celtics winning and winning it all in the finals is just because it's been years of them having this main core. And they've gotten super close, but they've just continued to fail. And you look at the regular season this year, they were by far the most dominant team of all teams in the regular season. They've had big-time blowouts in the playoffs this year, especially in the first couple series. I'd have felt like if the Celtics were ever going to do it with this core group, the time is now. So that's why it's just hard for me to see somebody beating the Celtics with that talent. I mean, we saw the other night, even though the Pacers kind of blew it at the end, and we'll get to that series probably a little later, but you look at the stat line, Drew Holiday dropped over 25, Jaylen Brown dropped over 25, Tatum dropped 36. Like, they're deep. And I just don't know if the Mavs have enough to beat that team if they both make it to the finals. Obviously I'm speaking in
if I think whoever comes out the West is going to win it. That's what I think personally. And I really don't see the T-Wolves after last night having the poise and moxie to actually win it. I don't think they can beat, after watching last night's game, 88 of 108 points, those two scored or contributed on.
Either scored or assisted. Right.
88 points of 108, dog. How do you not figure out, hey, let's do something with one of these motherfuckers? Like, I don't understand. Like, when it's like, let's just say 75 at one point in the third or whatever. Like, and they're part of 61 of the 75 points. When do you just say, you know what, these motherfuckers, they're actually the whole team tonight? When do you say, let's do something? And when is Ant going to drive the ball to the rack and be aggressive?
Yeah.
He's not, listen, he's a scorer. I don't know if I would consider him a shooter. He's a scorer.
Right.
There's a difference. If you're not a shooter and your shot's not going down in the playoffs, for instance, in the Western Conference Finals, you have to create opportunities. And the opportunity is to get your ass to the line and shoot free throws since your shot is not going down. By doing so, what do you have to do? Drive the ball to the rack and get fouled, generate fouls, get guys in foul trouble. Lively was living off the ball last night. He didn't really have to guard Gobert because Gobert is not really a scorer unless he's a offensive rebound putback guy. You're not worried about him shooting threes out top like Towns. You're not worried about him dribbling and taking somebody off the dribble. So Lively outplayed Gobert last night. And then you got Dallas has young bigs they throw at him. So I said the other day on the show, I said that those two young, Gafford and him, and then getting Gafford in the trade deadline along with P.J. Washington, there's 3 longer bodies that you can throw at those 2 bigs over there in Minnesota. And if you're not driving to the rack as Ant Edwards and don't get fouls on those guys and have them come help out and rotate and just get to stay out there on Gobert and a nobody, the T was – but I have faith in the coach that he'll figure that out, and he'll tell Ant he's got to be more aggressive. You got to be more aggressive because that's what Luka and Kyrie were.
I feel like – and you watched the game too. I feel like late in the game he just looked exhausted. And I'm like, damn, why you so – I guess they did just have a game 7 a couple days ago. So maybe that series was a little heavy on him because it was time when he just had his hands on his hips and he was just settling for the 3-point shot, just continuing to settle. He made a couple of them late to keep the team in the mix. But like, I agree with you 100%. The athlete that he is, the explosion that he, like the explosiveness that he has, and the physicality that he has with his body frame itself. Get to that rim, only good things can happen. Either get to the line or you'll end up, making a shot just from being aggressive. So I do expect a different Anthony Edwards in game 2. But the interesting thing too, JB, about the Mavs being so efficient on offense and scoring so well, the Timberwolves did a good job of stopping the Mavs from shooting threes. They were playing aggressive on the 3-point line to almost forcing them to drive and go for the twos, but it actually worked against them. So now I'm wondering, like, okay, Timberwolves, are they going to play a different style of defense game 2 and actually, kind of play a little softer and leave those 3 points open, which could also be negative because Luka gets hot from the 3, Kyrie gets hot from the 3, PJ Washington. The Mavs are just a dangerous team because they can win in different ways. So
yeah, I don't like hearing about these cats are tired. Listen, they did look tired, but like, come on.
I'm not giving him an excuse. I'm just saying he just looked tired. Yeah,
but I know that's what I'm saying. I just like we're in the playoffs. There's no room, or you can't talk about your conditioning and shit. Like, there's no excuses. Ant is young as hell. I believe he's the youngest star left in this playoffs. Like, there's no excuse. You gotta fucking. It's all gas, no brakes. Like, you want to get to the finals, dog? You want to get to the finals or not? You beat the defending champs. It's like America when in 1980 when they won and they beat Russia in the hockey. Like, that wasn't the finals, dog. People watch the movie Miracle and they think, oh, they beat Russia. They still had to beat Finland in the gold medal round, the game after that. So, which they were down in again. Like, people don't realize that's not it. They're young, so they thought beating the defending champs was like the championship for them. And until people figure out there's another level to go. By the way, there's still 2 more rounds, homie, if you want to win it all. You're young. You should be all gas, no brakes. You haven't done anything yet. I think we have that mentality now. And that's why I don't know if Denver has – that's why I've never been high. Like, you couldn't even win 2 in a row. We were talking about how great they are already. Come on. You couldn't even win back-to-back, Denver. I don't believe you have that. I don't believe these players, period, or these teams by free agency, by demanding of free agency and trades, how it works now in professional sports, basketball, football, baseball. I don't know if you're ever going to see the Chiefs are very. I think that's the end of. I don't know if you'll ever see another back-to-back. I'm going to be honest. I don't know. Football, basketball, baseball. The Chiefs may be the last team you see do it. Can they do it 3 times in a row? I don't know, but. It's going to be tough, in my opinion, going forward from here on out, back-to-back titles in any sport. I just think it's getting harder and harder based on how we structure everything. Free agency, cats demanding trades, unhappy, want more money. The market is setting. People are leaving championship squads, Smitty, to go to bad squads just before the money. They don't care about winning no more like they used to. So that's what I think. So we'll see. We'll see. Let's dive into Scotty Scheffler. Scotty Scheffler, world's #1 golfer in the world, obviously had an incident while you were in Mexico. We had Louisville. They say Louisville, the home of Muhammad Ali. He basically ran through to try to get into his warm-up session. And if you haven't read up too much on it while you were sipping Mai Tais and shit and on the beach, he basically was charged with some felony assault. Apparently, the cops were kicking it with him the entire tournament. They kind of knew something was probably not what it seems to be. Apparently, he dragged someone. I don't know. We don't know. There's no camera footage, though. No footage on any of the cops, which is crazy.
Of course.
So we're trying to figure it out. I figured out the other day. I said, man, Louisville has to drop this. I don't think they want this PR. And apparently yesterday came out and said Louisville does not seem to be dropping the charges, and he will have to show up in court on June 3rd. Seems like it's crazy to listen, I'm not going to give anybody a pass. If you're wrong, you're wrong. But let's keep it real. Look at what's happening out here. We got a lot of wrong going on, and we're letting them have a lot of passes right now. There's a lot of passes being issued out right now. A lot of fucking passes, and then we're going to choose to go after the the number one golfer in the world for trying to get into his professional tee time. So
we are the biggest hypocrites, I think, as a society, as a country, when it comes to this type of stuff. It's like, and I get every state is different, so that's part of why the legislation is handled differently, because it's not like we're all under one thing necessarily. I get it, but damn, I feel you, JB. It's like be consistent to some degree. Like we're letting all type of sick individuals, off with a slap on the wrist, and then a guy like this, like you said, we don't have footage, so I don't know what he's done exactly or whatever. But like, bro, I don't know. Just be consistent. Like you said, we're not giving him a pass, but just keep that same energy with everybody if you're gonna do that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. You can rob Target for $900, walk out and not get touched. You're good, but you can't fucking try to get into your. That's like equivalent. It's equivalent now. Okay, now listen, not star status wise or popularity wise, but he is the number one golfer in the world.
Right.
So that's the equivalent to Patrick Mahomes trying to get into the office before the playoffs start and get in there, and they stop him. He tried to go in like normal. There was an accident outside in front. He tried to avoid the accident by getting into his facility, and the cops chased him down and arrested him. That is basically what happened. That is the equivalent. He is the number one golfer in the world. Now, he's not Patrick Mahomes level. He's not popular like that. Golf's not popular like football. But what I'm saying is the equivalent to the motherfucker trying to get to his job. So, like, you imagine Patrick Mahomes being locked up and then charged. That is where we're at. So, it is what it is. We'll see. Either way, I don't believe he's going to be in any harm's way. I'm sure it'll be some PR stunt to go do a police talk.
Right.
Money and fuck, it is what it is.
JB, he gonna get bigger from this. This is gonna help him.
Might have been a ploy. It might have been a good job. PR.
This whole shit might be fake, JB. From the beginning, from the rooter to the tutor. That's why they ain't got no footage. They ain't got none of that, because they just want to do this as a ploy to make his ass bigger. Pause. I'm sorry I had to say pause on that one. This whole thing, that's crazy, JB. You a smart dude. You a smart cat. You a smart cat at time.
I'm off about some bottles and Coro.
That's Jordan tequila. You didn't know that.
Pat and Jordan. And Jeannie Buff. You know
that,
right? That's the ownership group.
That's the big three?
There's a couple other people too, investors.
I'm gonna call Pat later on today, see if we can get a Sakura sponsor and a Jordan sponsor. We get those, we're good. We don't need nothing else. We get.
I'm gonna go back out. I'm gonna probably go back out there later, and then Sunday again. We're at Big Barbecue, and then they're leaving Monday. So they're out here a week. Today they're taking the kids to SeaWorld. Yesterday they took the kids to Legoland. Friday they're going to the zoo.
Oh, the zoo is popping in San Diego.
They're taking the kids everywhere. Yeah. They're taking the kids everywhere. And then they right on the beach, so you walk down and get in the water if you want. So like.
Yeah,
it was cold as fuck though. But last night we got to just sit out on the deck, smoke the stick, and gang of whales, dog, right there. So whales is they're snorting out the water. You see the whole water, and then they come out. The big ass tails come out. We don't know what they were. If there's killer whales or whatever, I don't know. But we got a very beautiful, smart, loving, caring.
Keep going.
Michigan Wolverine. She's on top of the world now. Michigan Wolverines are the national champs. Yeah. Harbaugh walked off into the sunset.
Yeah.
Now he's in the NFL. Now Michelle's favorite NFL team is the Chargers. And everything Harbaugh, and he's never going to be able to lose. And Michelle Kirkpatrick, welcome in.
Good morning.
Michelle, what up, Michelle? I haven't seen you in a while. I heard
We ain't seen you since the pandemic, Michelle. How you doing?
I'm doing great. National champions, all good.
right.
Love it.
All kind of stuff going on. You at work today right now already?
No, I'm at home. I'm actually about to leave in 30 minutes to go watch the NCAA hearing at the U.S. District Courthouse in Denver. So.
Oh, that's why she dressed up and clean. Okay.
I'm gonna put a blazer on. I'm not wearing this into federal court. But
hey, do your thing, Michelle. Do your thing.
Hey, shit, go wear that in federal court. Shoot, Scotty Scheffler is not getting his shot. Let me ask you about Scotty Scheffler. I got to ask you about the world's number one golfer, who I've met a few times with my buddy. Good dude, Texas guy. He goes out, and so there was an incident and there was a death. Okay, an accident happened. A death was occurred.
He did not cause the death. He was not involved in the death. Let's clear that up. Yeah.
He got there after, and he's trying to get to his place of business or work, warm up for his deal. I just equated it to Patrick Mahomes, not on the star-studded level, but if he's going to a game and then there was something happen, he couldn't get in the office. He tried to go through normal procedures, get into his office, and was arrested. Now, there's rumors that he dragged somebody on accident, whatever. There's no camera footage from the police, though, which is ironic. Where is it at? So they charged him with felonies for second-degree assault on a police officer, some other things. People thought they would drop the charges by now, misunderstanding. He got his job done. He went out there, played well his last two days. Where is this at now? Arraignments for June 3rd, and they did not drop the charges as of yesterday. They said they will not drop them. Why is this a bigger deal than everyone expects it to be or thinks it to be? Or is it? Is this normal procedure?
I think it's pretty surprising. There's some suspicious activity. I don't know this case as well as others, but from what I've seen, there was an indication in the police report that there was body cam footage, and now it seems to be nowhere to be found, which is weird. I think everybody was expecting them to drop the charges, and I think people were even expecting a civil response from Scotty Scheffler based on how the police treated him, potentially the impact it had on his game.
Really?
I don't know. There was speculation. Who knows? People speculated about a lot of stuff. Based on who I know Scotty to be, it sounds like you know him personally. I know him only by reputation. This seems like something he would want to just go away quietly.
Yeah.
I continue to kind of buy his side of it. I continue to think it was probably a misunderstanding. And I think now the police may just be trying to prove a point, but that's less of a legal theory and more of just an observer of this whole thing.
Yeah, it's crazy what we pick and choose right now as far as this country goes. Like as far as who we want to arrest. Like out here, you can rob McDonald's and Walmart and Target all in the same day. If you don't equal $900 in theft, you're okay. You could start it over tomorrow and have a free slate at $900. So you can basically get about $4,500 a week here. It's like a per diem for our criminals, but you can't.
Maybe you and I should start hopping in on this and use the money to get our studio space fully together,
It's crazy. All right, Michelle, I know you got a little bit of time with us. We got to ask you, there's a lawsuit going on. You're going to watch one. There's a lawsuit of a quarterback out there in the NCAA. Two interesting parts of this, in my opinion. I want to see the contract, quote unquote, and how these are actually, or I'm going to ask you, do you know what actually do these contracts entail? Are they truly contracts or are they agreements because of their status? I believe when they went into this NIL process, kids being 17 to 20 years old, I think people thought that they were amateurs and it was amateurism. And I don't believe the agent part started to work like it is now. Now I believe they have agents. They can do other things. They're almost professionals. Does that change the literature or the language in these documents?
All right. So I'm going to take your first question about the contracts. I haven't seen any contract that he had with Miami.
Neither. I heard it's all text message.
That's all speculative. And that's what his primary damages claim is based on, is the amount of money he expected to get from Miami. We haven't seen that agreement at all.
Right.
The Florida agreement we have seen, I don't know that it's even been fully executed, but if it's a contract and that it's a writing that has agreements in it that was supposed to be signed, but my understanding is that either party could terminate at any time. So you have to wonder whether that's really any sort of meaningful contract. And I think the defendants in this case are going to take the position, well, they haven't been sued for breach of contract. And I think the reason is because the contract is kind of worthless based on this ability to terminate by either party at any time. But I think, like I said, there's a reason why he didn't sue under the contract.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Breach of contract would have been the first suit, correct?
Should have been. It's a lot easier of a claim to prove than fraud. I see breach of contract claims all the time. Usually they're pretty simple. You look at what the document says. You don't even have to get into text messages, emails, phone calls. The agreement is there. Did you do what you say you were going to do? Did you not? It's a lot easier, a lot cheaper to litigate, easier to prove. The claims that he has asserted are super difficult to prove. And that's because this contract is basically worthless.
Let me ask you a question real quick, because I think I brought this up yesterday. I'm ignorant when it comes to all the legislations and what can be used in court, what can't. If he has any sort of, I don't know, conversations with a booster or a coach, whether that's via email or text, where they're agreeing to a certain payment there, can that be used at all? Or is it strictly, did we sign a contract or we didn't? Like, is that the only thing that can be used, or can text messages and DMs and stuff like that be used in court?
Well, there is a clause in the contract that's really common in contracts. It's called a merger clause. It says everything that we talked about, everything that we maybe texted about, all the oral statements or even other written statements that we made, none of that matters. Our agreement is what is contained within the four corners of this document. And that's to prevent situations like this, right? Where, we agree in writing that it's going to be 13 million, but, you can argue later that it was supposed to be 15. That's supposed to prevent that kind of thing from happening. These merger clauses, you can get around that though by asserting fraud, which is what he has done here. But theoretically, the whole purpose of having a contract is so that you don't have to play he said, she said later, right? This is what we said. That's what a contract is supposed to be. This is what we say.
Yeah, I'm dealing with one right now with the Arena League, which is an absolute shit show. I'm dealing with one right now with the breach as well. My lawyers filed already, and that's what it was. And I'm like, that's the first thing, breach of contract. That's what the suit should have been first, and then after that is whatever. From what I know and read and everything, the kid's a California kid, and I know buddies that coached the kid. He basically is using the fact that Miami said we will give you X, and then Florida said we'll give you Y to not go to Miami to receive X, and here it is. And that's all hearsay. It's all word of mouth. Like, it's all text message. Text message is not. Is it? Let me ask you: are text messages really valid in any of this assumptions, allegations, presumptions? Can any of this really work in court? Does he have any leg to stand on?
I don't think so. And not necessarily because of the way that the representations were communicated, because the four elements of a fraud claim where you have to have a material or a misrepresentation of material fact. You have to show that the person who made that representation knew at the time they made it that it was false, that they never intended to pay you what they said they were going to pay you, that they induced you to do something that you wouldn't have otherwise done, and that you were actually damaged. And Rashada is going to have problems at every one of these levels. Like the misrepresentation piece, maybe that's easier because they said they were going to pay him. Clearly they didn't pay him, right? But the part about them knowing at the time they said they were going to pay him, that they had no intention of doing it, that there was no way it was going to happen, that it was all BS, all crap. He has no evidence of that. I read that complaint several times. There's nothing in there showing that they intended to misrepresent to him what he was going to make at Florida. And it's not enough, by the way, that like they said it and the money fell through or they didn't have it or things changed. Like none of that would support a fraud claim. So it doesn't matter necessarily that it was text. If he had, for example, another text between maybe Napier and Hathcock saying like, look at this idiot, like he has no idea that like we're not going to pay him. Like he would maybe have something there to support a fraud claim. If he could also show the inducement, if he could also show that that was why he left Miami. And then of course he would have to prove actual losses. He's going to be in a super hard position showing that Miami was going to come through with the 9 or 10 million that he's claiming as losses here. And absent any sort of contract with Miami, and frankly, even if the contract with Miami looks like this Florida contract where either party could terminate at any time, those losses are going to be speculative too, because the defendants are going to argue that Miami could have pulled the ripcord just as easily as this collective did.
Yeah, like there's no guarantees here. It kind of sucks because me as a former player myself, I don't know if he's telling the truth about the actual amounts, but I do feel like he's probably telling the truth about, you know, there was some conversations behind the scenes to get, let's be real. I'm sure there was coaches saying, hey, if you come here, we'll do this. But if you don't have proof, then there's nothing. He's probably not going to win. Just being
honest. 14 million is a problem. Like Matt yesterday on the show, myself, everyone I've talked to, 14 million head and shoulders higher than any NIL deal that we've heard of to date from anybody, about anybody. Caleb Williams, Shador Sand, you name it. It's bigger than all of them. Nico in Tennessee. There's not one that's been close to 14 million over 4 years, over 2 years, year to year. It doesn't matter how many, the length of the duration. We haven't heard of this big. So to me, it rings alarms to me. Let me ask you this though: if you were like advising this young man and you said, "Hey, son, your goal is to get to the NFL," as your PR team, like this, I see her shaking her head already because she knows where I'm going, because this to me is really committing professional suicide in a lot of ways that people don't want to talk about. In this profession, you know, coaches are going to stick with coaches for the most part. And I can see Napier and Miami getting together like, look, man, we're both going to deny this, deniable plausibility, right? We're going to deny this. And then like what NFL GM or head coach or owner wants to get into bed with this kid who's going around suing coaches and organizations or schools? Who really wants to take a splash with that guy? And by the way, he's where, at his third school already? So, like, this is a flag that people don't know. Fourth school. So, like, are you going all in and trying to get paid in college before? Because you know you're probably not going to have a shot. Like, I don't know who's advising this kid. And I don't know who's advising a lot of these people anymore. But it looks like it could be committing football suicide in a lot of ways, too. Is there you think any truth to that?
For so many reasons, there's truth to that. I think this is pretty short-sighted unless this is he views this as his payday. There's a lot of reasons why I think he filed this in such a way to extract a large settlement from Florida, and that's the game plan. It's a short-sighted game plan. It is not, I don't think it fully accounts for the reputational harm that he will sustain from this for really two reasons. One is nobody likes someone who is litigious. It's just a reality. People hate getting sued. Nobody wants to feel like they could potentially be a target of that. And then the second reason is he sort of violated an unspoken code, which is you just don't talk about this shit, right? We all know that these texts are probably happening. These calls are being made, tampering everywhere, right? But sort of the system functions on the understanding that you keep your mouth shut and like eventually everybody's going to be taken care of. And he wasn't, and he sounded the alarm. He snitched and sued, which are really two things that I would advise against if your plan is to have a long and enduring career in professional.
Yeah, we learned that. We learned that. That's one of the first rules you learn growing up. Don't snitch. He snitched and sued. That's a bad combination.
Hey, Michelle, my lawyer, one of my agent, great, really well known, is in Denver, right there where you are. And when this whole thing went down with myself and Netflix and the school and all these issues, lawsuits. I had lawyers hitting me up, man. I would let us sue on your behalf. My agent was like, "You'll never coach again." Now, and I'm like, really? So, like, I know that is a discussion. That's why I asked you, because I know you guys, that's a discussion. Like, oh, you want to commit suicide, professional suicide? For me, it didn't help anyway. I should have sued. But the percentages are low. Let's be honest. Percentages, like, about, most people go sue. The next guy is not hiring a guy that sued a college or sued a coach or on something like that. So it's very interesting. But here's the interesting part, Michelle. Kirby Smart apparently, allegedly, I don't know if it's true or not, there was a few tweets out there that apparently Kirby gave him his blessings to go after Billy Napier. Now, I don't know how true this is. Outkick reported it as the source, but I don't know if it's true or not. But that to me is a little bit ironic. Kind of is a telltale of what's going on right now in the landscape. Like, is it all like it's feast or famine? Like, it is meat market. Like, these coaches need all these kids to stay there, and they don't care who they throw under the bus. I can't see Kirby doing that, but it seems like it's the source is actually pretty accurate. Do you see a coach saying, "Go ahead and sue another coach in my league in the SEC"?
Especially in the SEC. I mean, here's the thing. Like, Kirby would never go on the record and offer his blessing. But if my understanding is that the Rashada family approached him and indicated this is something that they were thinking about doing, and he offered his blessing. That's different than telling them to do it, encouraging them, saying, "I'll help you," and participate in it. But let's be real. This is going to be used to negatively recruit Florida, right? Everyone who is competing for a player against Florida is going to say, you can't trust their collectives. You can't trust their coach. This lawsuit is going to be a distraction of that program. You don't want to be any part of that. And come on, really, you're going to put it past Kirby Smart to just say, like, absolutely not. We don't want to do anything to interfere with Florida whatsoever. Like, let's make sure to preserve the integrity of all, like, especially in the SEC. Kirby Smart.
She cooking, JB. She cooking. She got a point.
All right, Michelle, before you get out of here, where you're going to court for, does it have to do with Michigan?
She can't tell you that.
No, there are Michigan alumni who are representing Alex Fontenot and the other players in this suit. The complaint in the case did open with a quote from Jim Harbaugh. I think it's not related to Michigan directly. In many ways, Michigan could be on the receiving end of what they're intending to deliver here, insofar as they are looking for a share of media revenue, much more than the House settlement is proposing. This hearing is about whether or not this lawsuit should be consolidated with those lawsuits. The plaintiffs here say, no, it should not. We should be allowed to continue suing the NCAA and the Power 5 conferences, regardless of what happens in the House settlement.
What's happening with Michigan, by the way, off the record? What's happening with Michigan with the NCAA part? I'm saying, are they taking hits since Harbaugh left? Are they losing scholarships or anything? What came about with that whole deal?
I think we're still waiting on a formal notice from the NCAA. So we have not seen it yet. I have said, I will continue to say, especially when everyone was suggesting that somehow the NCAA was going to step in and prevent Michigan from playing for a title. Like, the NCAA takes years, not months. We will not see anything, knock on wood, I don't think, in 2024. I think it'll be at least 2025 before we see anything meaningful happen with regard to the Connor Stallion stuff, at least.
Yeah. Okay, last thing I got to ask you. Antonio Brown. He filed for bankruptcy. What does that mean? Because this is the question I'm going to get Sharon, Coach Moore's going to come on the show.
Michelle cracking up.
Sharon's coming on the show, by the way. I just talked to him the other day. Let me ask you, if this this bankruptcy thing. What is bankrupt? I don't know what chapter he filed. I don't know anything about it, but I know he made over $80 million in his career. So we can judge and make judgments and all that all of how crazy the dude is and all that other stuff. But he bought a league. He bought an arena league, some sort of low-tier arena league. He didn't pay any of the players or coaches. Does this excuse him or get him out of having to pay debt to certain people when you become an LLC or when you own something? Can you get out of actually paying this by filing bankruptcy?
So I'm not a bankruptcy lawyer. I'm just going to say that my limited understanding of how the bankruptcy would proceed is that everyone to whom he owes a debt would have the ability to come before the bankruptcy court. They take a look at his collective assets, and he gets to keep his house if he has a house. Generally, there's something called a homestead exemption, I think. And then they look at everything else he has, they liquidate it, get cash, and then usually all the creditors get like a few cents on the dollar for what they're owed. I understand, although I think I read like he has like $50K to his name.
Allegedly $50K in assets. It's hard for me to believe, Michelle.
It's hard. That's why these college players got to get paid, because there's just no money on the other side. So you gotta get what you can.
Yeah, no doubt.
Interesting. Super duper last thing. I know you gotta go.
Yeah.
NCAA antitrust. I saw. I think last night they had accepted a settlement last night officially here, and just want to know, did you have any insight on what's going on here? What does this mean? Saying it's a history making development in the NCAA. Saying they're going to provide more than $2.7 billion to former athletes over the next decade for back damages related to NIL. I'm a former athlete. I don't know that if I'm a part of that or not, but just curious if you had any insight on this.
Probably.
Yeah.
So yeah, I understood that those were the terms that they were considering. I did not realize until just now that that had been approved.
Breaking news, Bailey. Breaking news.
Bailey, leave it up for her. Leave it up for her real quick so she can talk through it real fast when she get out of here.
Yes. My understanding is that schools would have the ability to distribute $20 million in payments directly to athletes. They would have to comply with Title IX, which continues to be an interesting wrinkle of all of this. And then, yeah, of course, the back damages of $2.7 million. I understand that would be kind of distributed in a funny way among the various conferences. I've heard that the ACC may be paying a disproportionate share of that, as well as the Big Ten, with the SEC somehow getting off again. No. We will see how that distribution plays out in real time. But athletes will also have the ability to opt out if they want to retain the right to continue to sue the NCAA for antitrust violations. They can do so. Obviously, though, they will not get to participate in that $2.7 billion collective payout if they do it. I think most athletes are just going to take whatever check they can probably get here. Some may continue to sue. I know the plaintiffs in the Fontenot action would like to continue to sue as well.
I'm trying to get a check. I'm gonna do some research. I played in the MAC. You know what I mean? I play SEC ball, Big Ten. I understand we're kind of the small fries, but it's still D1. It is what it is. I still played. It's there. You know what happened.
Anything. So.
Hey, I'm gonna
sue.
Video game. I got the video game check years ago. I got the I got like 2 checks since I've stopped playing. So hopefully I can get a third one. I'll be good to go.
Make that happen.
I'm gonna sue just on GP, just for shits and giggles. I'll be hiring you. We'll just throw it out there. We'll just throw it up there and see what we can sue and get away with. So fuck it.
Her rate is very high, JB. Just letting you know that. So
Michelle, I appreciate you. Love you to death. Appreciate you coming on.
This is a great time as always.
All the insight. We'll talk to you soon. But you're getting ready season. Have fun today. Thanks.
Yeah. Patrick, clap it up.
Patrick. Clap it up. Let's take a perfect commercial break. We'll be back in 4 minutes to discuss a lot of things. Smitty, real quick, don't jump into every class action lawsuit you see. When people offer you class action lawsuits, go see a lawyer, get them read through, because as a homeowner, You get these all the time. I get class action lawsuits all the time. They attack the home builder. They attack the flood areas. There's fire danger. And when you attach your name to the class action, the check you get is always going to be a tiny, shitty one. Just remember, sue them individually, Smitty. As the homeowner, don't jump on the bandwagon and make it easy because the lawyers have already said, we'll do all the work for you. You don't have to do nothing. That's how the lawyers get over. That's how they get all the money. You get a check for $500 fucking dollars when you could have got $50,000 because your fucking drywall's cracked. Take it from me. Experience is the real key. We'll take 5. We'll be back in 5. Peace. Hey, huh?
Yo,
look at
bitch.
this fucking slapstick. God damn it.
What up, bitch?
Look at this fucking hat, bitch. That's shit.
What's going on, Pat?
What are you lying about? Hey, what are you lying about today?
Everything.
It's good seeing you. It's good seeing you last week. Appreciate seeing you last week. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks for coming out.
Pat lost more weight.
Pat looks slim.
Pat lost more weight. I've gained fucking weight.
Pat look in shape like me.
You get it? There we go. Yeah, we see him perfect.
Ooh.
He striped it, coach. It's right at the pin.
Right at the pin.
And look at his shoes too, y'all. Zoom
Dang.
in on Pat's shoes right now. Golly.
Was that a fucking?
Home, coach.
Probably got to call. We might have to smoke a ham.
Yeah. There's nothing better than that.
Yeah.
Nah, that's like, I say there's 2 things undefeated: pussy and new pussy. But these guys don't. This is the realest show on planet Earth. Everybody, sound the like. You get inside. It's the corral. Hey, he said the court's unbelievable, huh?
Of course, unbelievable. It's out the pin right now.
Hey, thanks for the invite.
Never come.
He can't invite you to everything, JB. Golly.
No, I can't even go to the shit. He invites me all the time. I fucking can't go to it.
Never
Why
go.
can't you go?
Two fucking dinosaurs at home.
Well, then you gotta come watch the dog, Smitty. I'll go.
Nah, go fucking send them dogs somewhere else.
Or you just come. He'll fucking say his ass will stay home.
Yeah, that's how we gonna start doing things, right? Yeah, there we go, Pat. Yeah, I like that.
Hey, you just started second hole?
Yeah, goddamn, it's gonna take a month to play.
Well, who's the pro, or who's the amateur guy? Is there any celebrities and shit?
No, CC's bad dude. He's playing ahead of me, and Wayne's playing with Dustin. I don't know who the
Wayne Gretzky?
Yeah, I don't know who else they got out here. I didn't see. The tee time's all day, so I don't have any idea.
Is Anthony Kim out there?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
How's he coming along better?
Yeah, he's doing good. I talked to him for a while. He, goddamn, the guy's been out of the game for 12 years. He shows up with this goddamn rental set or something. I'm like, bro, you gotta, the time, it ain't the same game and equipment than when you left. So he's starting to work. I told him the first 2 weeks, I said, bro, you gotta get your feet wet. You've been out of this thing forever. So I've been talking to him, giving him some advice and all that kind of shit. Just told him, hey man, people behind you, and just take it slow and get your feet wet again and get going. And he's coming. He's trying hard. He's doing good. So everyone's pulling for him.
Nah, that's sweet.
He's doing good.
Glad to hear that. I know I know he looked up to you. He's been looking up to you for a while.
I'm basically the only guy that knows him. Because he left in 12. He left the Houston Open in 2012. I mean, shit, no one out here. I mean, there's kids that were 5 when he left. Didn't even know. I mean, he never seen. I told him, I said, bro, you never seen kids like what is now. I mean, you've got hundreds of kids that are 19 to 24. They're just superstars. Back in the day, we saw the Cat and Phil and Furyk and Ernie and Retief and Couples and all these guys, but they were all right. All 38 to 40, right? So he never seen anybody like him. He was a superstar back in the day, but now these kids are so young. They hit it 40 yards by everybody. It's just a whole different player. And I said, look, and I just need to get wrapped up in that, but you're gonna have to get your game going because these kids are ready every day. Every day, they work their ass off. They play hard. They hit it a mile. They're just so competitive. They're not afraid of anything either. So, but he's getting it. It's good. He's getting it. It's good. I think he'll be fine. He's got a couple years to play and then kind of see what happens. But he'll get there.
Pat, do you feel like the overall play is a lot better now than it was like, I guess even 10 plus years ago?
Yeah, I mean, even the kids, like Speed and JT, and you got, Brooks is still young, and Patrick Reed, and there's so many young good players now. It's unbelievable. Even out here, we get this Caleb Surratt, Chikara, and Wolf, and kids just hit it a mile. We got so many young kids that are so good now. It's incredible. The game, but I don't know. It's just it's a whole different. Back in the day, the strategy of the game was to hit it in play and hit it on the green and try to make putts. Now these kids hit it a mile. They just hit it over all the shit. They hit as far as they can, hard as they can, and they just shorten the courses. And it's all speed. It's just different. Technology has helped a little bit too, but the kids just are more athletic than they were back in the day. You're finding, back in the day, everyone was my size. They're 5'10", 5'8", not very big. And now you got all these kids that are 6'3", 6'4", monsters that don't realize that they can make a ton of money not playing football or baseball. And, it's just a whole different generation of player.
Yeah, JB, incredible. Our athletes are a lot better than your athletes, JB, is what he's saying.
Pat, now, again, he's talking golf, not fucking basketball and football. They're worse than ever. Hey, we are back in the lounge in the studio for maybe a couple more weeks. We'll be in the studio. Studio set up, Smitty, kind of already waiting on the wraps, waiting on the cameras. And, man, I got these cameras, spent all this money, and it says it was delivered to my house on the 17th of May, and I haven't got shit. So now I'm worried about that. Now that's going to be a fucking dispute I have with FedEx, and I dealt with that yesterday.
You got cameras everywhere, though, so you can see if somebody tried to rob you or something crazy happen like that.
The FedEx never showed up. I looked at the camera. I went to the date that they said they showed up. Plus, it was a signature required. They said the signature was acquired.
Wrong house. They went to the wrong house.
Yeah, then somebody signed on it and fucking opened it up and took the fucking camera.
Now, you didn't mess up on the address, did you?
Hell no.
I'm just saying, just double check that.
Jason Brown has to sign. So what? Jason Brown signed?
I'm saying, like, a lot of times these FedEx people, that they don't check no ID. Are you Jason? Okay, cool.
Nah. Yeah. But I'm saying, though, like, what address? How do you go to the wrong address? It literally is on there. It says delivered to my address on the thing.
Yeah.
So, man, it's always something, man. Always fucking something. By the way,
if you didn't get it, they have no choice but to repay you or send it back. They have no choice. You didn't get it.
It's just slow down the setup process is my thing. Like, that's my worry. It's going to slow down the fucking redo. And it used to be a federal crime, by the way, to take someone's mail. Just one little envelope was a federal crime. Nowadays, fucking, I guess you could steal and take it to Target and resell it. I don't know. Target is trying to do I don't know if you know, I don't shop at Target ever since the whole weirdo shit. But have you heard about? They have price matched every single item at Walmart, and they've gone under Walmart's prices for 60 days. They're trying to get their fan base back. So Target's cheaper than Walmart right now on everything, apparently. I don't know if that's true or not. Lucy, women in the chat, can you guys give me a little update on that? Is that true? If it is, I got to go through Target and see what they got that I like, that I fuck with. I don't know. I don't really fuck with Target ever since the whole made up human push.
Hey, go out there and get what you can. Save some money. LA is not just LA. The world is America is expensive. So if you can save some money, go to Target, go to Aldi's, do what you got to do.
Go what?
Aldi's.
What?
Aldi. ALDIS. You put a quarter in the cart, then you push through. I'm from the hood, JB, so I don't laugh, cry, do what y'all want. I'm really from the slum. Like, I don't come to this show and fake it and play around. It ain't cute to be from the hood. It ain't cute to be like grow up the way I grew up, but I grew up that way.
We don't have all these out here, by the way.
Yes, y'all do. Yes, you do. Look it up right now. Bet me $100 right now. Bet me $100 right now. Don't ask me. Bet me $100 right now.
Oh, I never heard of it.
Yes, you do. Just know that.
Where's it at? I never heard of it.
Let me see what the nearest one at. I got a few of them.
I never even heard of it.
There's one on West Century Boulevard. There's one in Gardena. There's one in Compton. There's one.
Are you sure is it the same one though?
It's Aldi, ALDI. I call it Aldi's, but Aldi.
Is it the same one though?
It's everywhere. Yeah, I'm looking at it. It's Gardena, Compton, Carson, Torrance, another one in Torrance, Southgate, Long Beach, Downey, Bellflower, Alhambra, Pico Rivera, Burbank, Cerritos, Santa Fe. Like, it's everywhere. I got hella all these out here. But you grew up privileged, which is great, which is a good thing. So you didn't have to go to the cheap store. You were going to the fucking.
It must be fairly new. It must be fairly new because it wasn't around.
It's not new, bro. I've been going all since I was a little kid.
I'm saying out here on the West Coast, it must be fairly new because I ain't never heard of it.
Well, y'all must have put in 20 locations in a year because it's a hell of locations.
I mean, it might have been around for some years. Remember, I've been out of the state. Probably was when I was in Kansas. They built it here. I don't know. I never heard from. I'm used to Woolworth and motherfucking Kmart and goddamn old school TJ&Y, motherfucking Fedco. I'm OG. A lot of you motherfuckers don't even know what that shit is in here. So it is what it is.
Yo ass used to Amazon Fresh and Whole Foods and fucking what's that expensive ass store all the rich people go to out here? I don't even know the name of it because I don't know.
Real talk or jaw jacking? Poll question. Do you believe JB's ever been to a Whole Foods?
You guys get me or the chat?
Both. You think I've ever been to a Whole Foods?
Yes. Let me tell you why. Not by yourself. I think your AE has wanted to go there for whatever reason. And when you're not on the camera, you're a little bit more, your softer side comes out. You're more giving, you're more caring. And you went because she wanted to go.
Never been to Whole Foods. Never been to Whole Foods. Never been in one in my life. Couldn't tell you what it is even like. Another one, Trader Jack's. I've never been.
Trader what?
I've never been to Trader Jack's. Is that what it is?
I ain't been there either, honestly. I ain't never been here.
I don't fuck with it. There's one in Long Beach. There's one out here, like fucking nicer area. I don't know, but I've never fucked with Trader Jack's. I've never been. I have no fucking interest in doing it.
I'll be honest with you. I've never been to Trader Jack's. I don't think nobody in this chat been to Trader Jack's either. It's not a fucking store. It's Trader Joe's.
Huh? Wait, what?
It's Trader Joe's, homie. Trader Jack's? Ain't nobody been to Trader Jack's, homie. Nobody in the world.
Trader Jack, Trader Joe, whatever.
Trader Joe's, homie.
Man, I wouldn't go to that fucking
Hey, Ports, get your man, Ports.
I wouldn't go to that fucking place.
What's wrong with him, homie?
I need to go to one of those places, Trader Jack's. There's not one by me, though, so I don't know where they would be. I think there's one out here in IE somewhere. Fuck Trader Jack's, Trader Joe's. I don't give a fuck. I never heard of it. I have no interest in going to that motherfucker. Go get the bread. What the fuck? I don't eat bread, homie. You see, I'm slimmed down, 275. All right, I got to dive into something with you real quick. Pause.
No diddy.
Bailey, bring my theme music in. Where's my theme music?
It's Compton in the house.
Without a doubt.
It's Compton in the house.
Without a doubt.
It's Compton in the house.
Without a doubt.
All right, Smitty. Bailey, if you could find what we had yesterday for my Make It Make Sense. In Chicago, Smitty, there's these guys that do this dude has a big YouTube channel. He walks around and stuff. There's a building in Chicago. I believe it's called the Americano or the American Building. Ironically, that's the name.
Okay.
And our taxpayers are actually paying to house illegal immigrants inside of it in Chicago.
What?
The irony of it all, though, that's not the kicker.
Okay.
We cannot go inside the building as Americans.
Why?
Make it make sense, dog. I have no idea. Pop it up, Bailey. Take a listen to this.
So you live here. How many rooms are in here? Has this been renovated for that?
Renovated.
Totally renovated just for illegal aliens.
Yes.
Wait a minute.
So the name is on the walls. You can look on the wall to see the name of it.
Drop off and pick up.
The American Replacement Center.
Let's see if we can walk in.
What is that name? Oh, the Standard Club.
Oh, we ain't allowed.
Come on. So you have metal detectors.
Yeah.
You got everything beds, cleaning.
Private property.
What property is this? Is this for homeless? No? Oh, I didn't know that. We're not allowed to see it?
You are not allowed to record it here.
Why?
Let's go outside.
But why?
You need to speak to someone. The number is right here.
Nah.
Guys, please step out of the building. This is a private, specific building.
How many people
funded by my tax dollars, though, right?
I'm not allowed to be
funded by my tax dollars, right? We're not asking you for information.
It's a private building.
We're not asking you for no information.
I don't care if
we're not asking you shit.
I'm not asking you for a second. I'm gonna please step.
Don't ask me nothing.
I'm gonna ask you to please step out.
Oh what?
I'm gonna ask you to please
or what?
Or I'm gonna call the police.
Oh, you call who the fuck you want to call?
Go ahead. Hey, call the police for me real quick.
Yeah.
Call 911.
Fuck you think you talking to? Okay, who you call?
911.
So hold on.
That's the Black JB right there.
So hold on. The police are gonna defend the illegal? I'm trying to figure this out, dog. Hold on, I gotta.
Just call 911.
We'll walk out. We're leaving. We're leaving. We're leaving.
What the fuck you want to
We're
call?
leaving.
Thank you, sir, for understanding.
You'll get what you're looking for fucking with me. Hold on.
I wish you touched me. I wish you touched me.
No, I'm gonna shoot.
I wish you touched me, sir. Can you please step out of the building? Step out of the building. Don't worry. Just call 911. That's fine. That's fine. It's no problem. Hey, you're in a private building. You're in a private
Yeah. You're looking at a 12-story minimum, 12-story building.
No. Way tougher than tough.
Excuse me, sir.
Way tougher than tough. Way tough. Keep talking. All you gotta do is keep talking.
Sir, you can't be past that door.
You know what I mean?
Come on, step out of the property, please.
Messages right
I'll
here.
show you what a tough guy look
My
like.
name's Arturo.
I'll show you what tough
Step
guy
out of the
look
property,
like.
sir, please.
Oh, you gonna do what?
Please step out of
Call the police. That's all you gonna do.
That's fine, sir.
You gonna call the police.
That's fine.
Right, exactly. Stay in your motherfucking place. Chump.
This is America. This is treason. This is exactly. But see, these guys can walk into our building we pay for, but we can't. You want to understand what treason is, America? This is what's called treason, right here. This whole building has been renovated to house illegal aliens.
Yes.
We just came several blocks away from U.S. citizens sleeping in redundant, torn down tents.
Our veterans are on the street, Smitty, and they're fucking housing these illegals to vote come election time. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. I don't know, dog. I can't
make it make sense. I mean, we live in LA, so we know how bad the homeless, population is out here. I used to live downtown for about 5 years, so I seen it on a daily. And to imagine that they're renovating and using money to actually, house, immigrants who are not even illegal immigrants. Let me be clear, and leave our homeless out in the streets who are actually from here, who are actually American, is insane. Like you say, the segment is called "Make It Make Sense," but sometimes you can't make sense of things that don't make sense. So I don't understand it. You've kind of alluded to this months ago about like you don't know the real reason what's going on, but you had threw out that potentially it maybe is because the election and they're trying to get votes for one side of the party and things like that. And I've just never seen anything like this before. And the fact that they're trying to keep it private is interesting. I wonder if we could get one of those like people who actually work there though, like to talk. Like the guy that was telling them to get out, like those are regular just people here. Like those aren't no like anybody special. Like, like I wonder if you could get them to just talk and say, like, what's going on? What is this? Like what?
Man, I want to bring one on, man. Like I want to bring one on. It's crazy. I've never seen nothing like it, man. They're infiltrating our ass. In California, it's getting bad. They're everywhere.
But it's not even like infiltration if they're like it's allowed. Like it's not like they're sneaking in and they're finding like we're
that's what I'm saying.
In. Yeah.
Our fucking government has infiltrated the American people,
right? By
bringing in these groups of men. By the way, I don't see a lot of women anywhere or kids. I don't see motherfuckers holding their kids across the fucking Rio Grande River and fucking trying to get into the country. Like, it's treason, though. It is definitely treason, and that is basically fundamentally our government performing it, which is in the Constitution. That's why we wrote it the way we did, and our government's committing treason against our own people. Like, Jeremy, that was in Chicago, you fucking idiot. wasn't in Cali. I know everything's Cali. I know Cali is there. Anything I see now, Smitty, that's Cali for you. Motherfucker, that was in Florida. Oh, that's Cali for you. Motherfucker, that was in Texas.
And about 70% of the time, it do be some Cali shit. Not necessarily LA specifically, but Cali. It might be Bay Area, San Diego.
We're a shithole.
70%, you right.
Yeah, we're a shithole, bro. Like,
y'all a shithole. Like, Indianapolis is way better, honestly. Way better.
Anyway, we are a shithole, but don't get it twisted. A lot of these states are fucked right now. And I'll be honest, there's a reason. We had this conversation last night with a bunch of people. Be honest, man. That's why the Live Golf Tournament only plays in red states. It's weird. We had this conversation last night. He's like, nah, it's by design. First of all, it's either a Trump course because the PGA controls all the national courses. So either the reason Live is in another country playing, they don't have the right to play on a course here. And then the other part is if it's red states are allowing to live in. It's ironic how that works. The blue states won't. And I've never been a red state, blue state guy. I'm like, fuck, this is America. Like, we're going to be back to old school Civil War where, remember, that Confederate fucking, you can't go to Mississippi, you can go to New York. Like, it's crazy, dog. Its times are going to be real wild in the next 6 months as we get closer to a lot of different things too, dog. Iranian president. I heard there was a hit list, Smitty, and Putin and Trump are on it. So if they're on the hit list, then you know there's bigger parties involved, and this Biden character and all these other guys don't do shit. They don't run nothing. But here's the ironic part. I never got my student loans paid for. My homeboy, Jerry in the chat, his brother got his fucking 180 grand wiped off. They fucking tease me all the time playing poker. I'm like, motherfucker, how'd you get your fucking shit wiped off? My motherfucking ass ain't got my student loans wiped off. I never got a COVID check. I know people that got a check that never even filed their W-2s in their life, never paid for taxable income, never has claimed taxable income, and they got a fucking check. So I know it's a bullshit scam, dog. I know they just wait basically this lottery. They roll the ball, and then whatever. If your last name ends with fucking M or a J or L, you get it. If it's with this, you don't get it. I don't know, dog. It's crazy how people.
I think you didn't get it because like Biden know you don't fuck with them. In the blue state, know you don't fuck with them. All this shit's public. They see all this shit. They got teams and security that see every negative comment, every threat, anything against them. And you ain't been fucking with him for years. So like, we ain't about to get it. We ain't about to pay for this motherfucking school loans and give him money. If he don't fuck with me, then fuck it.
Let me ask you, this is black people shit, white people shit segment without doing it. But like a lot of brothers I know, hood brothers that I've talked to who are, I started the show on Monday when you weren't on talking about like certain things. I said, I had some hood homies over the other day and they were talking about, nah, dog, some of these cats, brothers, especially in the industry, the Diddy's and the Jay-Z, all these cats that are coming out with these alleged incidences now coming out, and this girl Jaguar supposedly dropping bombs on everybody and all this whole shit. And it's ironic. A lot of brothers I grew up with, hood cats that are OGs, are like, man, fuck what's going on. I wouldn't vote for Biden to save my motherfucking life. And then Jalen Rose came out talking about not only do we need to vote for Biden, we need to exile Trump. And then all my hood homies are like, Jalen Rose took a back seat in the hood when it comes to brothers because that shit is wild to say that. I bet you wouldn't tell Mike Tyson and Lawrence Taylor that shit, Jalen Rose, because they're voting Trump. Now Cardi B is voting Trump. Now you got Amber Rose voting Trump. Now you got all these folks that are starting to say, uh-oh, is it? So my question to you is roundabout way.
Yeah, but
still drunk, Smitty.
That's all right. I get it. Take
let me
your time.
ask you. Bigger pick. I need you to think outside the box before you answer. That's why I don't want you just to answer this so quickly. Because back in the day, my hood ass, your ass would both say, "Hell yeah, pay my loans off." Are you still at that at 30 years old? Say, "Hey, pay my loans off." Fuck yeah. I don't know if you have them or not, but like I've talked to some brothers, and it seems like it's an age demographic that says, "Hell yeah, pay my shit." And then if you're over the certain hump, regardless of color, because all my OGs are like, "Fuck no, I've been paying my loans for my whole life." And we found out that we're paying dead people's loans off. And motherfuckers now want to give cats. People feel slighted. Like, nah, I'm paying my shit and I got to pay my shit. We should all have to pay our shit. Why is certain people getting a pass, getting their shit paid for, while others are still paying their student loan? That is what a question to you is. Like, are you just like, fuck yeah, pay my shit off? Or are you thinking big picture? Like, because I paid a lot of my loans, dog. And now all of a sudden, cats I see getting their shit wiped clean who have yet to pay $1 on it seems a bit shady to me. I'm not going to say unfair because the world's unfair, but damn, it seems like it's a little shady to me.
Well, to answer your question, I don't have no school loans. I was on 4-hour scholarship. But if I did, yes, I would want my shit paid for.
And I was too, but afterwards I went and got post-degree. So I got
yeah, I know.
And I
didn't do none of that shit. I just got my bachelor's and chilled.
I'm thinking about doing a doctorate, actually. I'm thinking about doing a doctorate now. Nowadays, you get a fucking doctorate online, fucking year and a half, fucking, it's crazy. So I'm like, fuck it, why not? Why not?
And you can use AI to do all your homework and stuff. I can teach you that later. It's very easy. It's very quick. And
again, proving my point. That fucking degree means diddly shit.
Nah, yeah, you just need a piece of paper. But yeah, I would get my loans paid for 100%. I get from the old heads, y'all might think it's unfair, and it probably is, but I mean, compared to college football and NIL, and motherfuckers getting paid and shit now, and all millions of dollars, and the old school players like, damn, we didn't get paid. Okay, maybe that's unfair, but it just opportunity came later, and it is what it is. So it don't make sense for none of us to not benefit from the standpoint of, or from the fact that they're willing to pay our shit off because y'all didn't benefit from it. That's stupid. Like, misery loves company. That don't make sense. Like, y'all should want us to be like, yeah, get that shit paid off as the OGs. It shouldn't be no jealousy. They know, fuck, I gotta pay my shit, pay your shit.
That's not the point. That's why
the crabs in the bucket mentality. You know what I'm saying?
Nah. See, that's where you're wrong. You're all fucked up. That's why I gave you opportunity to say, let's think outside the box here on this.
I'm thinking inside the box.
No, you're not, because it's not the problem. That's not the problem, dog. You're creating more debt for your future. You just don't think forward, homie. You don't realize how this thing works. I don't think you really know how economics work. You get your shit paid off. Guess what happens to your kids' shit? Like, you understand that somebody's paying for it, correct?
No,
Did
well,
you know that? You know how that works,
I don't know that.
Okay, did you get COVID checks?
I got a COVID check.
Okay, so you do realize everyone thinks that those checks were going to just be a free, like, okay, let me ask you this. Did you get unemployment or workers' comp or unemployment during COVID? Like, a lot of cats got the unemployment shit, and you saw a lot of athletes scamming unemployment, getting money and all that.
I was never unemployed.
Okay, so all them unemployment checks that cats were getting during COVID were making more money than cats working. You remember that whole thing?
Yeah, I remember all that. Yeah, it was.
You do realize now that like motherfuckers is paying those taxes on that shit now, right? 4 years later, that motherfuckers ain't paying and they can't pay. It's like, you do realize weren't going to give that money out for free, homie, and not expect you to get that money back later. They're going to get their money some type of way. And by the way, if you haven't noticed, the Fed, the IRS, has increased daily the interest rate. And the interest rate is going up per day on your outstanding IRS bills and your back taxes. And they are increasing the rates. And they're going to get their money, homie. And it's coming from everyone, which is crippling the country, not just Smitty getting a check or getting their loans paid off. It's going to affect everybody in the next 10, 20 years, your kids and everybody. So, like, it wasn't tax-free Keith Smith. Shut up. God damn, homie. Worry about tucking your belly in, motherfucker. All right, Smitty, I got to ask you something. Get back to sports here. I have to always drop bombs on everybody that people don't really want to hear. But
he might be right, though, but continue.
No, he's not right. Let me dive into something. Andy Reid's come out on record now defending Butker. Take a listen.
With so many women just on staff here and in the building, his comments kind of touched on women in the workforce. I mean, what do you tell them if they come to you with a concern about players speaking ill of, women in general?
Yeah, that hasn't happened. I don't think he was speaking ill to women, but he has his opinions, and we all respect that. I let you guys in this room, and you have a lot of opinions that I don't like.
Listen, Andy Reid's always had my respect. regardless of some things he's done, obviously that's happened. Of course, he's had to deal with his son, his other son, dealt with some horrible turmoil within his family. But at the end of the day, he's a winner. He wins. People know him for that. He's a Hall of Famer. He's the best football coach in the world right now. He defended the Butker situation, and then Mahomes came out and said this.
And I know Harrison. I've known him for 7 years, and I judge him by the character that he shows every single day, and that's a good person. That's someone who cares about the people around him, cares about his family, and wants to make a good impact in society. When you're in the locker room, there's a lot of people from a lot of different areas of life, and they have a lot of different views on everything, and we're not always going to agree, but and there's certain things that he said that I don't necessarily agree with, but I understand the person that he is, and he's trying to do whatever he can to lead people in the right direction. And that might not be the same values as I have, but at the same time, I'm going to judge him by the character that he shows every single day. That's a great person, and we'll continue to move along and try to help build each other up to make ourselves better every single day. But at the end of the day, we're going to come together as a team, and I think that'll help out as well as eliminating those distractions outside the building as well.
Let me give you my take on Patrick Mahomes. I like him. I really do. I always have. My buddy coached him at Texas Tech. Always a stand-up dude. Never been a BMK, we like to call him on this show. I've always liked him. I liked him and gained more respect for him in the playoffs when he had an ankle injury and demanded to be out there. Everything about him I like. Now, let's get it. Don't get it twisted. I've never, ever once. Have you ever seen me ever? Have you ever seen me ever bash Patrick Mahomes' character? Ever? See, that's what people don't know. People don't realize they take trigger words from me critiquing his film and talking about how we anoint him as the GOAT. When I don't do that, I call it what it is. I break down the film. A lot of you guys see exactly the chat. I knew this was what?
I'm a little surprised. I mean, you've never said nothing bad about his character. I agree with that.
See, that's why we don't listen, Smitty, in the world no more. Cats
we listen, but I just think some words you've used about the field, of course, but some of the words have been so strong. He's shitty, that it just when you're so adamant about one side of a person, it just makes you naturally think that you don't like the person. You know what I'm saying? Like you talk about his little shit, he do his mouth and all, like you do a lot of shit, antagonize him. So I'm just a little surprised.
Has nothing to do with his fucking play on the field though. And his play on the field has nothing to do with his character, dog. And I've never talked about his character one time. See, that's why I know you guys don't listen. People don't listen. They take trigger words and they talk about how JB don't like him because I don't believe he's the greatest quarterback or even close to it. Has nothing to do with his fucking character. I've always said on this show, and I've said it many tweets and other things, love how he stood in there. Love how he came and played. Love how he bitched on the sideline about getting taken out of the game. I got record. I got receipts, as y'all say. Go look.
I believe you. Keep going up. Keep going up real quick.
So when it comes down to his critique of the football player, Patrick Mahomes, I critique that. Right. Totally separate. Never not said one time about anything about this character. I've actually came out and said I respect him more on this show with you. Since you've been on this show, I've said that I respect him more because of his daddy being a fuckboy, his brother being a fuckboy, dealing with all the shit he had to deal with and still winning a Super Bowl. Right after the Super Bowl, I came on here and said it. I said, dog, you got to give that motherfucker a lot of respect for dealing with what he has to deal with and the human elements of life. His brother, his daddy, his wife being a weirdo, fucks that he has to deal with, and him to still be on the same well-spoken, high-character guy that he is. Much respect to him. Always have said that. Let's bring in Steve Kim. Steve Kim joining us, the Korean coach. Hey, Steve, I just said that I've always respected Patrick Mahomes. He just defended Harrison Buckner and all this. And I know a buddy of mine who coached him at Texas Tech. I said, I've never not once assassinated the dude's character. And the chat don't realize that because, see, they don't listen, Steve. Just like you when you break down boxers and they think that you're attacking their character because you said the guy has no chin or he can't take a punch. And it's like they correlate or equate the two being inclusive. I'm like, dog, they're totally different. His character has always been stand-up to me. And but he's not the greatest quarterback. There's two different things. And everyone now is in awe, thinking that I just changed my whole stance.
Well, I don't. That's the problem with hero worship and jock sniffing. So that it is what it is.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Steve, welcome in. I appreciate you jumping in here.
I ain't seen you in 2 weeks. How you doing?
What's going on, Darnell?
Yeah, because you go on fucking vacation and to Mexico and shit.
And I offered to still do the show in Mexico, and JB he begged me not to do it. He said, "Enjoy your vacation. Do not go." So, oh Lord Jesus. Steve,
take a look at that. How about that? Inclusive DEI. Great job there. But I don't want to put you guys in harm's way today. I'm going to do some research on those fine gals and break that down tomorrow by myself. Steve, I want to dive into a bunch of things going on. Number one, the NBA playoffs have been a hard watch for me. But the T-Wolves, everyone anointed just 2 weeks ago Anthony Edwards as the greatest player in the world. Last night, he got shown who the greatest player was. Luka and Kyrie scored 88 of their 108 points or had something to do with it. He has yet to score 20 in this series. He's two games in a row under 20 points. The superstars need to be really evaluated here and defined because I don't believe we know what superstars are. I think we anoint these guys. Luka's a superstar. I don't know if Anthony Edwards is there yet. I think he's learning how to be one. What do you define superstar in your definition? What is a superstar?
That I really don't know. But look, when they were comparing him to Jordan a couple weeks ago, even Whitlock did it. I said, guys, he's not Jordan. He's not Jordan at this age. He'll never be Jordan at any age.
He ain't Kobe. He ain't.
Well, stop bringing that guy into it because Michael was a much better player at this age than anyone that's ever been. If you look at his 1988 season, I believe he won the scoring title, and I believe he also was the defensive player of the year. He also set some other marks that'll never be replicated, and he didn't really have that much help. So, when you look at Edwards, very athletic. He's got a hard nose, more or less an old school mentality, but offensively, the thing I did notice in the games I did watch, when you blitz him a little bit, he does have some issues. He's going to have to really work at that part of the game, either getting that ball out really early or being more definitive on the move before that second defender gets there. But I mean, look, he's a good player. The series is still early. The NBA playoffs, I really don't watch. I haven't watched, not going to watch. So I don't let that stuff really, but Edwards is a good young player. But I thought it was a little young to be making comparisons to the great Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
Yeah. What do you think about this right here? Aiden O'Connell, who I believe is going to get the starting nod, as I said, which I think is the right decision. Go young, go arm talent. He said, out of respect to Derek Carr, he's not going to wear number 4. I find that interesting because we act like Derek Carr was with John Madden and won like 3 Super Bowls or something. I don't understand why Derek Carr is in such a high regard in the Raiders organization. He really didn't do anything. Do you agree with this right here? Is this like a young man paying homage or what's going on?
Well, he may have. I don't know what type of relationship he had with Derek Carr, what that quarterback room was like. But again, Derek Carr had a pretty long run. He was there for about, 8 to 9 years, I believe.
Yeah.
Put up some numbers. They
did some good things, too.
So.
Were they there together? I don't think they were ever there together, were they?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think they were. But, Derek Carr had a good 9-year, 10-year run. So,
Derek Carr is one of the Raiders' best quarterbacks of all time, right? Like, if you look back.
Statistically, he is. But in terms of, playoff success, he's not Ken Stabler or Jim Plunkett. Let's just put it that way.
Right.
Yeah. He's not even
top 5, though.
He ain't even fucking Hostetler. Steve, Shaun King and I have been breaking down AFC. I want to run through them real quick to get your take on what Shaun and I have gotten to so far. 2 days ago, we broke down the AFC West, and we're ranking our quarterbacks. and the rosters. We got Denver at number 4 in the AFC West, and we also have their quarterback room ranked number 4. Bo Nix, Zach Wilson, the Mile High Milf Hunter now, we like to call him, and Jarrett Stidham is the quarterback room in Denver. And in what have you done for me lately league, the Broncos don't have a whole lot of ammunition to answer that question. Bo Nix, a rookie, have never taken an NFL snap. Zach Wilson's a failed number 2 as of to date. And then you got Jarrett Stidham, who has been a backup at best since entering the league. We got them at 4. Number 3, Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell. That room is number 3 in the West, in our opinion. Even though the Raiders didn't come away with a QB in the draft, I believe they still have a better quarterback room than the Broncos, for now at least. So we got the Raiders there at 3. Also 3 in the West roster-wise. And I think Aiden O'Connell gives the Davis era, the Davis family, the ability to throw the ball deep to Devontae Adams and get the ball down the field like they have always loved to do, even when they signed Hayward Bay or whatever his name was, who was a bust. They always go after receivers to go the ball deep. We got Justin Herbert at 2 with the Chargers, with the Harbaugh signing and hiring. A lot of unanswered questions, but at least we know that Herbert is a big-time talent. And then, of course, we went with Mahomes and Chiefs, back-to-back Super Bowl champs. You agree with that ranking of those 4 teams in quarterback rooms?
Yeah, in general. Look, guys, I really don't do the team-by-team thing yet. So, look, you got 2 guys that are really good, and the rest are just flotsam and jetsam. Just a lot of parts. Those other 2 teams, I don't think – I'm not so sure you have your quarterback yet. There's 2 types of teams. Teams that have their quarterback and the teams that are looking for them.
Transitioning to the AFC South. We placed the Titans at 4, the quarterback room also at 4. We got the Colts at 3, made a great additions in the offseason. And then we actually got the Jags at 2 and Houston at 1. Shaun and I kind of disagreed with that, but ranking the QBs did change a little bit. And Smitty's here now. We put AR5 at number 4 because of the fact that he didn't play last year, to be honest, before Smitty loses lunch. He didn't play. He didn't play last year. We don't know really what he's going to be. I'm not a believer in him yet. I haven't been a believer. I never have been. I'm still not. And then he didn't play. So I bumped Will Levis above him because out of default, he at least played. And then this year, I'm going C.J. Stroud at 2. Only because the unknown variables at receiver, and then does he have a sophomore slump, especially with the book being out there on him from D coordinators across the league. And then I think Trevor Lawrence is 1 this year because apparently, to me, he's got to have a bounce back year because he's been inconsistent to date. Now, I understand he's had 2 coaches, but now he has a Super Bowl winning coach entering his 3rd year. I think Trevor Lawrence bounces back, and CJ could still be the best in that division. But I got Trevor being the best this year. I think CJ will still be good, but we don't know. There's a lot of unknown variables, especially the addition by subtraction addition of Stephon Diggs. What he does to that room, is it going to be too much for a young CJ Stroud? You agree with that QB ranking?
Trevor Lawrence has been more good and mediocre than good to mediocre than anything more than that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't put him number 1.
Yeah,
I'm not even so sure the Jaguars look at him as a second contract guy as of right now. Last year, I thought he took a step backwards, and this is him playing for his Jaguars' future, in my view. I would take C.J. Stroud. I know that there is a chance that the book may be out. There's film on him, but what he does translates. He throws in the pocket. He steps up. He climbs the pocket. And he hits middle of the field throws, and he throws on time. I like Houston. I think they have a very bright future. Tank Dell seems to be okay. They have weapons. I'm going to go with Stroud. Trevor Lawrence, to me, I don't want to say bust because he has not been that, but he's been a far cry from what they thought they were getting as the number 1 pick.
And Smitty, that's the only reason I say Lawrence right now, because I'm right now in May, I'm saying he has to have that big bounce back year, to Steve's point, because we've seen Steve and I have watched him and said, damn, he can make these crazy throws. Looks like the best quarterback in the league at times. Him and Herbert are very similar. Shaun Shaun and I broke those down. Very similar. Big, long, strapping, big arm, can make all the throws, and then they're inconsistent as hell down the stretch. So
when you say bounce back, what is he bouncing back to?
Well, so he had a horrible rookie campaign after being the #1 overall pick, had a lot of high expectations. Then he has Urban Meyer, and we can all argue that that was a wash.
We get it. Yeah.
The very next year, he gets Peterson and goes and almost beats the Chiefs at Arrowhead and is a play away from advancing to the AFC title game. And everyone's like, oh, shit, he came back from 28 to beat the Chargers and Herbert. And he had a really good year that year. And then last year, he took a step back again, like Steve said. And now this year, he has to show he's the #1 pick and get that long-term money, or he's going to be a guy that, like Steve said, we'll just say, oh, it was a bust. That's why I said he has to have a bounce-back year.
I hear you. It makes sense. I think C.J. Stroud's going to be – I don't see him falling off because just his style of play, like he's a true – like he's not like a Jalen Hurts where we could see him possibly falling off because of his style of play. It was he's such a system quarterback, and losing your offensive coordinator in Shane Steichen, people, the other teams having film on you. I can see why Jalen Hurts would fall off a little bit. CJ Stroud is a pocket passer. He's reading the defense. He's like quarterbacks with that style of play. It's harder, in my opinion, to take a big step back. I'm not saying he's going to be as great as he was last year, but even taking a small step back would still be, to me, the #1 quarterback in that division. But
that's why I think Trevor has to play well. Steve, moving on, Steve, to the AFC North, black and blue. I gave the Steelers an offseason grade of an A. They added Russell Wilson, Justin Fields. They got Dante Jackson. They got Troy Fontenot, the O-lineman. They got Patrick Queen, Van Jefferson at wideout. They got Deshaun Elliott at safety. The key losses, if you look on their roster, is Mason Rudolph and Kenny Pickett. It's not a key loss to me, so that's addition by subtraction. They lost a punter and they lost Deontay Johnson, which could be argued addition by subtraction again. But I broke these teams down. The Steelers revamped the QB room. In my opinion, they're as good as any as far as a room goes because you have the capability of Justin Fields coming in there and playing anytime that they want. I put him as an A. I got Cleveland as a B because they added Jerry Jeudy, Devin Bush. I know Smitty likes Jameis Winston. I think is a very big get for that roster, just whether he plays right away or not. But they did lose some guys like a great leader in Flacco. They lost Anthony Walker at backer, and they lost Taki, another good linebacker. But their salary cap, Steve, Cleveland is saddled with arguably the worst contract in professional sports with Deshaun Watson at $64 million against the cap for the next 3 years. And then the Browns have also got huge contracts with Myles Garrett and Denzel Ward, which is going to affect their future free agents. So they got to win now, in my opinion. I gave the Bengals an offseason grade of a B-. They did get Zach Moss, Sheldon Rankins. They got Trent Brown. We don't know how healthy he is. We got Mike Gesicki, the tight end, who's been pretty good in Miami. But they lost Joe Mixon, Tyler Boyd, and obviously they could be losing T. Higgins, Steve. So the Bengals are a team to be determined here. And then the Ravens, I gave an offseason grade of a B- as well. They got Derrick Henry, Nelson Aguilar. Shaun and I disagree with our takes on the whole thing. Smitty and Shaun agree that Derrick Henry is going to be good. With him, I don't believe he will be. It's going to turn him into an under-center quarterback to put his back to the defense and run play action and stuff. That's not his strong suit. So I'm going to be the one on the hill that doesn't like the Derrick Henry addition. But ranking the 4 QBs in the North, I got Deshaun Watson at 4 because we don't know still. Russell Wilson I put at 3. I got Lamar at 2, and I got Joe Burrow at 1 if he's healthy. Of course, if a 5th, I think he has a bounce-back year as well, similar to what I just mentioned, Trevor Lawrence. You agree with those QBs? Watson, Wilson, Jackson, and Burrow.
Yeah, I mean, Burrow's got to worry about being healthy. And if I were him, stop trying to be the cool white guy. That bothers the shit out of me. Work on being the boring white guy. You don't need to be cool. Just wear like khakis and dress like a normal human being that you grew up with and be a leader. Because his play last year was very inconsistent, was not injured. And I'd ask him 2 questions. Do you want to be good or do you want to be cool? Because you can basically be one.
You see him trying to fit in, huh? You see him trying to fit in.
It looks stupid. It really does. It really.
Why does it look stupid? Like, because I got this.
Because
I don't
so.
feel like Joe is forcing it. I think this is who Joe is. At LSU, we saw him like I don't. He's never had teammates come out saying this guy is phony and fake, because that type of stuff would leak if that's the case. I feel like,
I guess, but
it's
look,
just who he is. This is who he is.
If you are a white guy, stop doing that. It's actually kind of insulting and just.
So you're saying if you're white, you got to wear khakis and JB don't dress like that. Let's keep it real. JB don't dress like that.
I think he tries way too hard, and I'm like, oh God.
But Steve knows I
want my opinion, Smitty. You can have your opinion. I'm going to have mine.
Well, of course.
I think it looks fucking stupid. Okay,
that's the show. I just don't see how, like, unless you know him personally, it's like, damn, you just say he looks stupid because you don't like the way he dressed. Well, because he's white.
So Darnell, you're saying I'm going to give my opinion because it's my opinion? Oh my God, yeah.
I guess it just sounds crazy to me.
Hey,
there's nothing worse than the old guy that tries to act young. Because it's inauthentic. And look,
he ain't old.
Like, to me, here's the thing. Most of your good quarterbacks have never really been cool. They've just been good. And it's not a coincidence. Football is a very, very boring, cerebral position built on consistency and doing the right things over and over and over again. It's the truth. Most of your really good quarterbacks have never been the coolest guy. There's a reason. There's a certain personality and a mindset that actually exists for that position. It may be different at defensive end. It may be good at running back. But at quarterback, I don't actually want my quarterback going out there acting like other players in the warm-ups even. I really don't. I want you to be much more cerebral. You have to be an extension of that head coach and that offensive coordinator, even in today's game. Okay, that has not changed from the days of Vince Lombardi telling Bart Starr, you're my extension on the field. Don't ever forget that. Okay? So,
I don't disagree with that point necessarily. I guess what I'm saying is I don't believe, this is my opinion. I'm not saying this is my opinion. I don't believe that had any impact on how last year went. We got to remember, before the season started, he hurt his calf muscle. So he came into the season, already wasn't playing. Then he was forced to basically jump in because they start off like 1-3 or whatever their record was. So he came in, he was a little shaky, and then he ended up hurting his elbow or whatever. So then he was out the rest of the season. So last year it was riddled with injuries. I don't think his demeanor or his swagger or whatever you want to define had any impact on how he plays. When he's healthy, they win. And in this short time span, when he's healthy, they win. Like, that's the fact.
Like, let me just say this. I absolutely winced when Kirk Cousins did that thing with the gold chain in his shirt. I'm like, bro, you're trying way too hard. You look silly. You really do.
I agree with Cisco. These youngsters have bought into the look good, feel good, play good bullshit. I agree. Cisco's coaching them right now. He also said it's where the focus has gone instead of getting better. I agree with that. He's coaching these kids right now, and he sees it daily. I agree with that on that side of it. Let me ask you this, though. In the ranking side of it, Shaun has Russell Wilson at 2, ahead of Burrow in this division.
No, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Look, there's a reason why Sean Payton could not wait to get rid of Russell Wilson. Okay?
Where's your rankings at on the 4 quarterbacks in the North, Smitty? You got what? I think you said yesterday you went with Deshaun at 4.
Yeah, I think I went Deshaun at 4. I went Russell at 3, Burrow at 2, and Lamar at 1. Because health matters at this point. I know everyone's like, well, Burrow should be. I get it, but we always say it's cliche. The best ability is availability, and to this point, Joe Burrow has been hurt. 2 out of his 4 or 5 seasons he's been in the league, so that has to play a role in that. Where Lamar, you can say what you want, but just went to an AFC Championship, 2-time MVP, and for the most part, Lamar does play. I know he's missed the ending of a couple seasons, so it made it feel like he's missed a ton of games, but he really hasn't. So that's my
Steve, on a transition to the East, Miami Dolphins, they're the team that could be the most loaded roster in the East. Last year, they couldn't beat anyone with any physicality, and I don't believe they can. You got to have a heart transplant. I don't think they had a heart transplant. Their head coach is the play caller, and I believe that he is why they are soft. That's just my opinion. I wouldn't be surprised if this is the team battling for 3rd this year in the East. Miami's got a quality QB, but in my opinion, Shaun agrees, he's just not elite. He's not a big arm guy. He's inaccurate at times, and he's not the athlete. He's back there just like Shaun said. He's obviously a worse athlete than Joe Burrow is and cannot get out of any type of trouble. They added Odell Beckham. I don't believe he's going to help. They did get Teron Armstead at tackle. So I got them in there. Buffalo Bills, Steve, is a team we don't know about. They've lost a lot. Jordan Poyer, Mitch Morse, Diggs, Leonard Floyd, Gabe Davis, Micah Hyde. I don't know what this Buffalo team has. And then the Jets, and then the Patriots. The Patriots, we agree, are 4. So is the quarterback room, either Brissett or May. At 3, we actually put Tua. And then at 2 for me, I went Josh Allen and then Aaron Rodgers at 1, obviously thinking he's healthy. Shaun has Allen at 1 and Rodgers at 2. Where are you at with the QBs in that division?
Well, I think you have to put Allen 1. He's the last 6 years, he's consistently been well over 4,000 yards. He'll always come close to producing 45 touchdowns total.
15
Rodgers. Rodgers has to play. He played 3 plays last year, so it's hard to put him number 1. I'm glad the Jets fortified that offensive line. They have some good parts that can be really productive. He is the quarterback. And as for Tua can do look, Tua reminds me a lot of a guy. I don't want to say Warren Moon because I don't think he has the arm of Warren Moon, but Warren Moon in his prime at the run and shoot was great indoors, great in the regular season, and then never really had those great moments in the postseason. And I think the Dolphins are very reliant on being at home in the playoffs with the warm weather, because when you start getting into that colder climates and the wind starts kicking in or it's just uncomfortable, I don't know if he has the arm to cut through all of that. So, he's solid. He'll put up numbers in today's football. And that's kind of the way I look at it. But I still think you have to put Josh Allen number 1, though, although this year, I wonder who in the hell is he throwing to?
Let me ask you this, exactly my point. Let me ask you guys this. Does Allen have to do the Mahomes more with less? Mahomes just won a Super Bowl, arguably 2 with less on the perimeter. He got Hollywood Brown this year. I still don't see Mahomes having great wideouts this year either. If you're having to depend on a rookie that can't get off press, if we're going to depend on him, we better put him in the slot because I know he's fast, but outside,
who you talking about?
The receiver they got from Texas, the slot, the 4-1 kid.
Oh, yeah.
Xavier Worthy.
If he goes out and takes the number 1 corner with him, like Shaun and I both agree, he can't get off press. The number 1.
They still got Rashee Rice. I know he's going through all his little stuff, but it looks like he's going to be there.
Yeah, he's going to miss at least 6 or 7. That's going to put the Chiefs in a very precarious situation once again as it gets closer down the line. So I don't know. But does Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen, does he have to shit or get off the pot, Steve, this year? Does he have to say, listen, you got rid of a distraction. You got rid of Gabe Davis, which I bet you they have seller's remorse on that one. I bet you they wish they could have kept Gabe Davis if they knew that Diggs was going. Now they got a rookie, but he's not really a burner. He's not a guy that's going to go outside and win one-on-one. He's got to be a guy that's more of a thicker body, route running, strong-handed kid, and people are more worried about how funny the fucking kid is over his playing ability. It seems like. So I don't know what the Bills have in the room and wideout, but Josh Allen is this a year? Shaun says he would bet a lot of money that he's the MVP this year. That's how much he has to prove. Do you see him doing that?
No. Look, he's going to put numbers up. I think one thing Buffalo needs to do, they need to run the ball better in the red zone. They're not very efficient there. And when they get into those tighter windows, when the defense gets compressed, you have to have that ability or willingness to stick to that run and be able to run it well and create situations where you're not asking Josh Allen to play Superman. I think some of their play calling in the red zone, they need to examine that. But that ability to hand the ball off and to be able to grind out 4 to 6 yards inside the 20, it just opens up, especially if you're going to go for it a lot on 4th down, which a lot of teams do. And be able to run that ball. And look, they don't do a great job of sticking with that run, in my view, most of the time.
I will say that Joe Brady took over in the middle of the year last year, and I think they did make it kind of a conscious effort to run the football more with Brady. But to your point, do you think that's why he has so many turns? That's why he leads the league in the low red zone turnover area, because he's asked to do so much down there, and then he forces it and he presses. I think that is maybe your point, without saying it. I think they put a lot of added pressure on him in the red zone, and he does things that you see him down there, he kind of folds down there because he just doesn't have a real scheme. I think Joe Brady hopefully can fix that throughout a whole year. And I wouldn't be shocked, though, Steve, if McDermott's gone after the year and Brian Daboll is the new head coach there. I think that's something going to happen.
There's some pressure. Look, I wonder if they're going to start using some too tight sets. I know they've drafted.
They got great tight ends.
Yeah, so I don't know if they're going to do more of that in the red zone. But the one thing I noticed about Josh Allen in the red zone, they asked him to play Superman. A lot of diving over piles, running into piles. And I'm thinking, guys, you're going to turn him into the pale Cam Newton here. There's a great value in being able to hand that ball off and grinding out 4 yards in that area. It's the toughest yards in football. That'll never change, but you need to be able to do it. But to just ask a quarterback to jump over tall buildings and be the immovable object or the irresistible force, you're at that stage now where Josh Allen is going to start to peak physically. He's going to hit his apex, and then it's the natural decline. So the way you play your quarterback at this stage will now start to have an impact on his availability.
Let me ask you this. What's your take about this deal here? The NFL plans a trial on an electronic measuring system. Matt came on and was like, he remembers when refs would stick a card in between the chain and the ball and to dictate a first down. He thinks it's great. I'm just waiting for the technology for somebody to turn on their cell phone and they lose Wi-Fi connection and it's a shit show. We already have a referee shortage, Steve, nationally from the youth level on up. I just think it's going to be harder and harder to find really good refs, and we're going to be bitching and moaning like we are in the NBA on how bad the refs are. This is another way to eliminate referees from actually doing their job. What do you think about this? They're going to try it in the preseason.
Whatever. I hope it doesn't slow down the game. You do want accuracy. I know in baseball they have monitors now for the strikes and the balls. I don't know what to really think. I don't want these games to go on any longer. I didn't think the old chain gang method was all that bad. But I don't really have an opinion on it.
Yeah.
Switching gears real quick before you go, Steve. I saw something online. I don't know how accurate it is, but going to boxing, I see this Team America versus Team Mexico allegedly supposed to be happening with Crawford and Canelo leading the card, and then Plant versus Munguia, and possibly Shakur Stevenson versus Zepeda or Cruz. Yeah. How serious is this? Are these talks happening, or is it just a rumor at this point?
I know that the Crawford-Canelo fight is actually being discussed.
Okay.
That's actually a possibility. So Crawford's going to fight August 3rd out here against Israel Madrimov. My understanding is Canelo right now in the September month, it looks like it's going to be Berlanga, with the plan being that if Crawford wins, then Crawford will fight Canelo sometime by the end of the year. Now, as for the rest of that undercard, I mean, you're talking about a lot of different fighters who are under the promotional banner of a lot of different people. I don't know if Turki Al-Sheikh, His Excellency, is actually planning all of that. I do know that Crawford, Canelo, though, there are actually discussions in regards to that particular fight.
Gotcha.
Is that a top fight you would like to see?
Yeah, it's an interesting fight. I don't, if he's not going to fight Benavidez, which would be my top choice, given the fact that I think weight classes do matter. It's an interesting fight because of Crawford's ability and the willingness to step up. Now it would be 2 weight classes because this other fight is at 150. Hey, guys, before I leave, I'll say one thing about Jaden Rashad and the whole NIL deal.
Ooh.
This is what happens when you let your father have his hand out and put you up for auction. That's all I'm going to say.
I was going to ask you that. we had Michelle on to talk legalities with it and what it all entails. I don't know if you got to see her talk about it legality-wise, our lawyer friend Michelle, a Michigan alum. But I'd be hard pressed that this was ever offered that much money. That would be the biggest NIL contract of all time. Number one. Number two, it seems like he's playing your university, the U, against Florida, and saying they offered me $9 million, and so we didn't take it because we wanted to take the 14 you offered, and blah blah blah. Do you even think that really happened? And Michelle said, "Listen,
Yes.
it was a contract."
Oh.
It's not a contract, though. It's actually word of mouth.
Steve said yes, though.
Well, all I know is this: Miami dodged a bullet, and I was with a booster 2 years ago after Miami's first spring game under Mario Cristobal. So this is April of 2022, and this booster, who's a major player, I consider him not only a friend, but I consider him highly influential and very connected. He said, "Steve, I don't like this Rashada thing. Don't like it. Don't like what they're doing."
So wait, what are you saying? You're saying they offered him $9 million in Miami?
I believe that there's a significant amount of money offered by John Ruiz, the head of Life Wallet, who at that time everyone thought was the sugar daddy of the program, and people thought he was the whole program. It turned out not to be true. They have a very good collective going on. There's other boosters. But John Ruiz was first and foremost in the summer of 2022. I thought he was a little bit too out front, and I know certain boosters had a problem with that. But I was told by my good friend, Steve, I don't like this Rashada thing. I don't like what's going on. I think we're playing a dangerous game. And I think the father's a pain in the ass. And this is what happens when a player and a father don't look at the actual college experience. You wanted to put yourself up for option. I'm glad Miami got outbid. Thank God. And the father, if I'm not mistaken, was actually up on Spaces because the rules in California and Florida are different. He's out there telling people, well, how come we're not getting this, this, and this right now? I'm like, bro, that's not – you want to put that out on public forums. So they're – I don't want to say they're getting what they deserve, but this needs to be a cautionary tale. How about actually worrying about the college you want to go to and then trying to figure out a deal then? The kid's on his what? Technically a second program, and he's been a part of four.
Yeah.
Okay.
Florida upped them. So Florida up $9 million for sure. You think?
I believe that Miami had a deal in place. It was leveraged. Here's where I knew it was shady with this kid. During that football season, when Miami is struggling, it's not a great first year. All of the other incoming recruits for that next class that Cristobal had on board, they would put out these edits like "Class of 23 coming." They'd have like a tagline and a slogan. And all of the incoming recruits that had not signed yet, just like Rashada, would put it out there. It was noticed very quickly by certain fans and people. Rashada was the one guy never tweeting about Miami, never congratulating the other recruits like the other people. Now, if you are a quarterback, in today's game, as far as I'm concerned, you are supposed to be the leader of your recruiting class. You're supposed to help recruit. You're supposed to have group chats and tell guys, hey, let's get this thing going. We're here to win. With Rashada, I think he was part of a group chat with our incoming recruits that season. But in terms of being out there on social media and being a leader of that group of young men, because I see Luke Nickel, who's a quarterback who I really like, is going to be part of the Elite 11 that's coming in next season. He's doing all of that. He's acting like the way your quarterback wants to, but that is the difference between a soldier and a mercenary. Jaden Rashada, very early on with his father, decided to be a mercenary. And then I read that his father was promised a job by the University of Florida. Again, so is it about protecting and giving your kids an opportunity, or is it about you?
Hey, it's very interesting because Pat, I was with last night out in San Diego, Pat Perez, and Pat played golf the last 2 days with Kenny Dillingham, a good friend of mine who I've known forever. He's the head coach at Arizona State. Obviously, you know where this conversation is going. Rashada ended up going there during his first year, and he had interesting things to say as well, and about the kid and his dad. And so you're right, you're spot on with it. The kid's a California up north kid, Pittsburgh. He reminds me of a lot of what Malik Henry's dad put him through as a kid. Malik went to 4 high schools. I think Rashada went to 3. They both shared one in IMG, which is in Florida. A California kid going to play high school football in Florida just rings alarms to me.
Well, Coach, what is going on here reminds me of boxing with these fathers who train their kids. And then when it comes to signing a pro deal, they quit their jobs. And when they meet with managers, they talk about, hey, what's our signing bonus like? Ours. And then I hear this a lot. Well, I put a lot of time into my son. Oh, you mean like most fathers? It's terrible. I mean, once I hear of a father who does not have a job that he goes to every day, as a boxing manager, that scares the hell out of people because they know this is going to be a headache. And the same thing is now happening. But this is what happened with the NIL. We bastardized it into pay for play. We didn't have regulations. We didn't have any rules. It was a wild, wild west. Miami got very, very lucky that Florida wanted to stick it to Miami because I think there was a lot of people in the know that when Rashada was still committed to Miami, in the middle of that season, there was an uneasy feeling that was the one kid that was going to waver. It was not a big surprise. Okay, and he's not bad. He's okay. He's going to be a pretty good college player, whatever college he's going to be at after Georgia. There's a guy by the name of Uncle Lou. He does a great YouTube channel. Big University of Georgia guy, does daily college football videos. I like him. he says a lot of funny things about a lot of programs, and he's a big Georgia fan. He flat out said it best. He said, if I'm Kirby Smart, why do I want this in my program? Like, he's actually saying we should just dump this kid. This kid's not good for us.
And it's funny.
You know,
Bailey, if you could pull it up for Steve. It's funny, though, that rumors are, and Outkick is reporting it as fact, that Kirby Smart gave him his blessing to sue Florida. And
this is about recruiting, though. Like, this is about piling on and making sure for kids between Florida and Georgia that, hey, look, whatever we promise you, you're going to get, not like those other guys. And, it's funny. I was talking to my friend about this. That's the booster. He told me flat out, I go, Steve, Georgia doesn't pay as much as people think. And I go, well, what's their pitch? You're going to win and you're going to develop. He goes, Steve, how Miami is going to bring down their NIL game, and I think everyone's going to go through it. If you win big as a program, you can get a little bit more of a discount. You still have to pay. But Miami's at a point right now where they want to they want to rebuild this thing really fast. Like they're going all in this year. They're going to have to pay a little bit more because they've been mediocre for 20 years. Now, other programs, I believe you'll have kids take a little bit less to say, you know what, I want to be a part of that. So I don't know if Jaden Rashada is really worth what Georgia has right now going on.
Hey, Steve, this kind of just before you leave, this kind of tells me why it's become so bad in the college football landscape. Back in the day, at least there were, I guess there's no honor among Steve, but back in the day, coaches were they knew that never trust a kid, never trust a parent, and now it seems like it's switching to meat market. It's a piece of meat. Coaches are against each other. Mm-hmm. They're out for themselves. We don't care. Even when Lane Kiffin was getting recorded by the shitbird, and then we got other coaches trying to get that same kid, didn't give a shit that he tried to record Lane Kiffin. Like, it seems like it's the wild, wild west that it's ever been.
I mean, look, I wonder if Jaden Rashada in the back of his mind is saying, you know what, I should have just gone to Miami, taken that 9, which I probably would have gotten. Yeah, I could be their future quarterback, but I'd actually I'd be my second, third year at Miami, making friends, having a good time. And instead, I've become this vagabond and a symbol of what is wrong of the NIL. And I'm wondering with Harlan Rashada. Harlan, do you think you're being a good father right now? Do you think that you have done a good job in this situation? We got to get the stage fathers out of here. I'm just telling you. I think you can't do it because not everyone's going to do the same. But if I was in a position of power at a school, I would tell the parent, look, you've done a great job. It's now, I don't want you at practice. I don't want you anywhere. You're done. Get out of here. Go to another program. But it's not realistic because somebody will always be willing to play ball. But Jaden Rashada at a certain point had to tell his father, Dad, I like this school. Let me stay here. You had $9 million. So you're really saying, see, here's where I don't respect Jaden Rashada. You gave your word. And so here's the thing, though. If it's a binding contract, all right, with Florida, which it may or may not be, it's either the spirit of the rule or the letter of the law. Well, you didn't look at it that way when you had the Miami deal, thankfully. Thank God. Hey, Jaden and your father, I want to thank you for your greed because that money's going to a lot of different players. Thank you Thank you for being greedy and selfish, because quite frankly, you may not be worth it. But again, it's still a cautionary tale.
Yeah, it is. Michelle came on and said it's not binding though earlier.
Okay.
She said it's not a contract. It's because if it was, the lawsuit should have been the first and foremost thing we saw was a breach of contract, and that is not what the suit is about because there was no contract to breach. So it's a bunch of text messages, word of mouth. Now, if there's text messages out there, like she pointed out, Billy Napier telling a collective, "Hey, this guy is an idiot. He doesn't think he don't know we're playing him. He's not going to get shit." Then there's maybe something.
Right. And look, and if Jaden Rashada, if it's proven that he was promised the money, guess what? I still think he should get the money. That's just my view of it. I'm just thankful it's not Miami on the hook for it. I'm being dead serious about this. This whole notion, I'm just telling you, I'm going to say this one more time. The NIL was about the established superstar who becomes very popular or iconic. Think Tim Tebow at Florida.
Reggie Bush.
Mo Claret that 1 year at Ohio State.
Yep.
Reggie Bush, certainly. And they get to use their profile to sell stuff, paraphernalia. Right. They can make their own hoodies. They make their own gear. Not this, hey, you're a left guard that's not going to play for 3 years, but be part of our collective. That's pay for play, and which it is what it is. But it's fine. There's no turning back. But Jaden Rashada will one day, no matter how his career turns out, he will be the face of NIL. There'll be documentaries about this. It should be a 30 for 30. But I think the father had a lot to do with this because I think most kids, in my view, Coach, want to settle in a school and let's get to work and let's have an actual career. He doesn't have a career. He doesn't. There's no career there for Jaden Rashada right now. He's just a guy that's been a part of 4 different programs. Technically 2 or 3.
Hey, everybody out there asking about Steve's shows. He does have one, by the way, with Mario Lopez, and you guys need to go check it out. The 3 knockdown rule, as it appears on YouTube. They're killing it lately. They've had everybody on that show, so go check it out if you're a boxing fan. Steve is there, and he's also on Whitlock, so he is out there on a lot of things. So the people that love Steve Kim. Steve, enjoy the weekend, man.
Yes, sir.
Any fights or anything this weekend?
Yeah, Josh Taylor fights Catterall. Some
solid fight.
Some rematch that's taking place, and then look, the fights happened, and then the next one's happened. So I'll be watching that in the afternoon, and then you go from there.
Hey, Steve's so nonchalant about all of it. He's like, hey, it's what it is. Like,
it is what it is. Just another fight. Another fight happens.
Nothing excites Steve Kim, JB.
Hey, Steve, we're getting into June, Steve. We're getting close.
Yeah.
Back to football season. Hopefully we're not in some war or something.
Yeah.
I'll see you next week.
All right, guys. Have a great weekend.
Appreciate it. Steve Kim is always dropping his thought and his opinions. Everyone's out there. Let me dive into something college-wise real quick.
Dive.
Deion Sanders.
Oh, shit.
Coach Sanders posted up, said he high step with it. Colorado's football student athletes, second highest term GPA in CU football history. 3.25 cumulative GPA.
What a leader right there. That's what you call a leader of men. All the talk out there, all the naysayers. This is the facts. This is the reality. All the haters out there saying he ain't a leader, he ain't this, he's not about character development. He's just out there he's mercenary business. This is what really matters. Second highest term GPA in college in Colorado. University football history, like forever. I mean, when Matt was there, when my guy Joe Klatt was there, when all the OGs was there, second highest ever. That man in his second year. Shout out to Coach Prime. He should get nothing but flowers on this show. JB, take it away.
So he's not as quite as high as I was in my school, but he did a good job. Here's the perspective I want to put this into. This is not the normal GPA-led programs across America anymore. We're not going to just talk Colorado. I commend Deion and what he's done there with the mercenary business that this is. But let's be fair. Let's be honest. This is now kids transferring in their school with a set GPA as well from another institution out of the portal. This is the facts. This is how it works. So When you get a kid that comes into a school and let's say he has a 2.75, that is already added into the classes that these kids are taking. And by the way, the kids that he's getting are also leaving with bad GPAs. And then you bring in kids that already have good GPAs is going to boost your football roster GPA. You know how this works, Smitty. You know how Ball State was. You know how all schools do. We all floss our GPAs as football coaches and players. This is what we want to do. So it works. It's a very weighted system. So I would love to know what the actual players, the actual guys that are going to be on the football field actually have, because it's very skewed. And this is not just Colorado. This is everywhere. And I'm not going to hate on his GPA or any of that. There's no reason to, or no proof of it. I just want to be clear and show everybody how it works. This is a very, very skewed and weighted system across America. It's not just Colorado. So the transfer portal has allowed a lot of teams. If you notice, every school is posting their GPAs being very, very high right now. It's because of the number of kids and this fast rate transfer that is allowing this to happen. There is no more, I have you 4 years, Smitty, and this is our GPA no more. We don't have it no more. It doesn't work that way no more. I would be curious to do a deep dive into these universities and see what the true GPA is of the players that are playing on the field and the ones that have been there longer than 2 years, because these are all kids that have been there a semester. So please understand that's how this works. So of course you're going to see that and bring that out there. So it's good to show. It's good to have. We all want high GPAs as football players because we are also always known as the dumb jocks to the other student body members. And in fact, I've always had high GPAs with my players, and I get them for 18 months, and they're the same player for 18 months. So the GPAs are skewed and weighted. So you have to understand how it works. So I'd be curious.
Control what you can control, though. I hear what you're saying. Like, but with that being said, still shout out to all the coaches, though, not beyond Colorado, whose team is having high caliber guys and with high GPAs, because regardless, and we're either recruiting guys, bringing guys in who are smart and got good GPAs, or you're growing the guys who've been there. Regardless, you got a smart team, evidently. So regardless, still shout out to them. You got to control what you can control. The situation, the college environment is different now. This is what it is. So make the best of what it is. And for them to have the second highest in the history is still good. And for all the other universities beyond Colorado to have high GPA amongst their team, I think it's still good. I was an all academic, all MAC guy going into, was it my junior year? And I took pride in that because I know how hard it is to focus on football. Be real is number one. And then still have to focus heavily on school and to excel on both. I was all MAC on the football field and all MAC in the classroom. So I took pride in that as an athlete. So I still shout out to those students first and the coaches for creating an environment that, ensures greatness on both sides.
Yeah, the problem is too, like I was talking to some D1 coaches and they're like, JB, this is the easiest we've ever had as far as class check, school, because now what's happened is, and it's very interesting, no one will talk about on mainstream media, what has happened from the 4-year level now with the transfer portal. What happens is when these collectives pay these kids a lot of money, they become celebrities on campus. So when you're a celebrity on campus, guess where you go? Online. So there's a lot of online classes being taken that, and and I know, some online classes are hard, but let's be honest, we're not putting football players in hard online classes for a reason, and that's just fact. And online classes are very skewed and weighted as well. So like when we take a lot of online classes, and this is coming from 4-year college coaches right now, they're like, dude, class checks have been eliminated for the most part. We don't have to do the grind that we used to do. So online is very skewed, and GPAs have all blossomed across the country because the portal is really. I would love to see the portal kids' GPAs. I would love to do a portal GPA check. I bet you that shit would be real telling because it's just it's a different world, Smitty. That's all I'm saying. It's a very, very different world now. and it's very, very viewed. But we come on here. I critique the whole Prime University thing all the time, but we wanted to give a shout out to his GPA 3.0. So we want to shout that out. You know, it is what
hey, you're hilarious though. That's all I'm gonna say. You're hilarious. You're funny. You're funny as hell. You said all that, and they said, "Hey, we critique a lot of this stuff. We want to give them a shout out." After spending 10 minutes talking about how the whole, not just Colorado, in fairness, but the whole entire landscape of it is easier, and how when you did it, you kept playing for 18 months while these motherfuckers are transferring them in and they're bringing in a GPA. It's like you downed it for 10 minutes and then brought it back at the end and said kudos to you. So I don't know what side to believe. It's just funny to me, but continue.
I just gave you context. I had to give you why the GPAs are higher. It's not just at Colorado; it's the whole country.
Yeah.
And I told everybody why. See, I break it down. I just didn't want to go right into saying, yeah, he's grinding out there. I mean, come on, let's keep it real. Prime don't even know what the fucking class he teaches name is. Let's pump our brakes a little bit, Mr. Academic. But anyway, I'm the hater. I'll be the hater. Freddie Mac, I'll be the hater.
You are. You like it. I'm glad you embrace it now, though.
Well, I've always embraced it, but it's not a hater. It's a truth teller. See,
it's hating when it's always lean one side. When it's not balanced, when it's always lean one side, it's hating. So if you were leaning on the other side, then you could say maybe you're like a dick rider or something like this. But you're leaning on the other side, so it's hate. If somewhere in that middle, you're good. When college football 25 comes out, everyone's going to be talking about, I want to coach like Nick Saban. I want to coach like Dabo Swinney. I want to coach like Kirby Smart, etc. When they start their dynasty. But for me, this is who I'm going to coach like. Look at his fucking face. Look at his face. You thought you were so scary in this picture too, didn't you, JB? You thought
just me regular.
Down.
It's just regular. This is a going around, I guess. People have been sending me this crazy shit. I bet, and there's a video out there too of me that I reposted yesterday. So listen, a TikTok video is being made of me. It always is.
Making money off your name. Everybody is.
They're making money like crazy, and I don't get a dime. And so then guess what? Here's the cold part, though, dog. I reposted that shit on my TikTok.
Yeah.
They took it down. What? They took it down. So I appealed it and said, this is me, you fucks. And they said, no, it's not original content. What? So this motherfucker could make money on me, and it's me you're using. And you ban me and you fucking delete my shit?
The problem is somebody took the video from Netflix or whatever, and they created the actual TikTok. So you can't just take their exact edit and everything they did and just post it as if you did it. You got to at least add something to it or put a little green screen. You got to do something to it.
My shit gets reposted all the time. On YouTube, a guy does a whole channel on me on YouTube. What do you mean? Fucking TikTok takes my video I did, Caitlin Clark, the women coaching in the NFL, and reposted it on their shit. Their shit didn't get taken down. And they
JB, listen, the world don't like you, JB. I'm sorry. They don't like TikTok don't like you, YouTube don't like, Netflix don't like you. Some fans don't like you, the coaches don't like you, JUCO don't like you, D1 don't like you, D2 don't like you. Hell, I don't like you. I don't know what it is, but people don't like you, JB. And you got to face the facts and reality of that. It's what it is. Y'all never see Rush Hour. He said, shit, I don't. He said, the girl don't like you. I love you, JB, man. I'm fucking with you, man. Stop. I'm messing with you.
Stat of the day. Stat of the day. Break this down.
Damn. And Kyle Shanahan's 6 playoff losses. They put losers. He's been outscored 85-12 in the fourth quarter. Because they spelled losses wrong, I don't even know if this is an accurate anything. I don't know. As soon as you misspell a word, you lost me. I don't even know. This could be complete BS right now. So I'm gonna take this with a grain of salt.
It's actually true.
If this is a fact, he needs to get better in the fourth quarter.
It's actually true, though.
He needs to get better in the fourth quarter.
Well, I've been saying that.
I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, it's that simple. I mean, this guy's still one of the best coaches in the NFL, been in that for a while. He has to figure out a way to finish. That's it. He went to overtime in the Super Bowl last year against Andy Reid and the Chiefs, and they lost. So hey, that's on him. Sure, you're the head coach, you're the leader. That's on you. You've been in another Super Bowl against them years prior. You lost. Been in the NFC Championship, you lost. At some point, Shanahan, you got to get over the top, like your father did. His father took him a long time as well. It took him a long time to get over the hump. But at some point, his father, Mike Shanahan, got over the hump. So listen, Kyle is still relatively young, all things considered. You think about coaches coach until what, they're 70 damn near. So he has a long time to go. He might win his first one in 10 years, like his pops did. Who knows? But he still is one of the best coaches in the league to take your team to the promised land almost year in and year out, and to even be in that conversation as a top 2 or top 4 team in the NFL every single year. That still says a lot, because you and I both know how hard it is to win a game, let alone a playoff game, and let alone winning a Super Bowl. So he has to get better, but that's still a hell of a coach, and I'm not going to let anybody on this show degrade him.
We're going to dive into the NFC tomorrow, breaking the complete NFC down in one day. We're going to break the whole thing down. Shaun's going to join us. We're going to break down the entire NFC tomorrow in one day. We've taken 2 divisions a day in the AFC, but we're going to knock out the whole NFC tomorrow, because Shaun couldn't join us today. So we're going to knock out the entire NFC tomorrow. So it'll be a loaded show. Don't miss it. But we got 30 minutes left. Real talk or jaw jacking? I want to bring this up and want you to hear it and tell me, is this real talk or jaw?
Ooh, I like this, man. It's in a long time. I like that. Put that picture back up real quick, Bailey. My fault. I don't want to mess the floor. There you go. Ooh, that picture nice.
Real talk or jaw jacking? Let's hear one of the ones that like to talk.
There's pressure on all of us.
All of us, yeah.
Why do you say there's pressure on you?
Well, I think if I don't do what I know I'm capable of doing, we're all probably going to be out of here. So I like that kind of pressure, though. I know it's a tough market to play in. It's not for everybody. I relish that opportunity, and that's the way the NFL is. I'm not saying anything monumental as you guys are typing away and putting your tweets out. This is how it is every single year. You might not say it, but as you get older in the league, if you don't perform, they're going to get rid of you or bring in the next guy to take over. I mean, it happened in Green Bay. So, and I'm, a few years older than I was back then. So I expect to play at a high level. I expect this to be productive and competitive and all that stuff to take care of itself.
That's real talk, and I'm glad that he's just saying it straight up. Like he said, it's like that year in and year out, but he knows for sure, specific to his situation there in New York with the Jets, if he fails, head coach is gone, Robert Sala's gone. Obviously, the OC's gone. He's only there because of you, Rodgers. They're gonna break a lot. They're gonna break that up from a coaching staff standpoint for sure. So I'm glad that he's acknowledging it, because to me, the fact that he's acknowledging it first tells me that he's going to be all the way locked in and ready to go to make sure that it does not happen. I talk to my guy James Jones, all the time, and I work with him at Fox. He loves Aaron Rodgers, obviously, and he truly believes that Aaron Rodgers is the best, the greatest ball spinner ever. But he can't. It's hard to defend and call him the GOAT, obviously, because of his lack of success in the playoffs and Super Bowls, and it kind of frustrates him, because it's man, I want to defend my guy and really have a true conversation as to why this guy is maybe the best, but he has to win for me to do that. He's not giving me enough ammo to do that. But from a pure ball spinning skill set standpoint, he always talks about man, listen, I played with Brett Favre and I played with Aaron Rodgers. It was different, and that says a lot. And we know it's no diss towards Brett, because he said Brett was phenomenal too, but he's just saying that Aaron is just different. So I just man, I don't know, man. I'm actually pulling for Aaron Rodgers. I know there's a lot of naysayers out there that don't like his opinions and think he's talks about stuff that he doesn't know about. I actually think that he's a smart cat. I might not agree with everything he says. I don't agree with everything everything that anybody says. But I do think Aaron Rodgers is well read. He's a smart cat. He's one of the greatest quarterbacks we've ever seen, especially of my generation. And I'm actually rooting for them to just have a good run, whatever that means. At least a deep playoff run, because that'd be big for the Jets.
Yeah, is it?
That's where I'm at with it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm at with it. Chad, what y'all think, though? What do y'all think about Aaron Rodgers, man? I want to hear some of y'all opinions in the chat while we're, producing here and chopping away. Do y'all think, is that real talk or is it jaw jacking? Put it in the comments right now. Was it real talk or was it jaw jacking? We want to hear from y'all.
Yeah. I want to know, there was a video out there I saw, RG3, who's been demoted and may not even be with ESPN anymore. Him and Austin Rivers got on a show yesterday, and Austin's still standing on this 30 NBA guys playing in the NFL, and now he got RG3 riled up. I actually gained a little respect from RG3 yesterday, hearing him talk to Austin Rivers about this whole thing. I think it's very funny. Did you hear it?
I did not hear it. I haven't seen it.
You should go listen to it. Bailey thinks we'll get flagged for showing it, so we'll show some pictures. But I don't. You got to go listen to it. It's very interesting.
Was he basically going? He was kind of going at Austin Rivers a little bit, like saying like, "Nah, bro, this is what it."
Yeah. He was also mentioning guys, and then the Charlie Ward and the other things that we all talked about. But yeah, he broke it down, and then at the end of the day, Austin Rivers says shit that's just, it's so dumb. Like,
oh, here go the comment right here. Robert Griffin III. Listen, Austin, your comment was very disrespectful in the very beginning to football players, but that's neither here nor there. After Austin Rivers points out Charlie Ward won the Heisman and then went on to only be a backup point guard in the NBA, RG3 replies, I'm a Heisman Trophy winner, Austin. I know Charlie Ward was a basketball player. Austin, this conversation is ridiculous. Greeny, I know, but you started it. I mean, he did start the conversation.
He did start it, and it's been going on, and it's crazy. Like, it's unbelievable. You got to watch the video. RG3 kind of went over on him. I like the fact, but all the football players realize, like, we didn't start this. We didn't disrespect basketball.
Right. We never just was like 30 of us. Now, we're in response, we're naming guys that we think could probably hoop, and because since y'all come at us, we'll come at y'all. But I think it's disrespectful on either way. But like you said, don't start nothing, won't be nothing. We sitting back chilling. We ain't talking about y'all. We understand the skill set it takes to be an NBA player. Y'all got to understand the skill set it takes to be an NFL player. It's not just about I can run fast or jump high or I'm tall. Like, it's not that simple, bro. To think that is ignorant. Literally, it's just ignorant. That's the perfect word for that. You just don't know. And when you don't know something, you shouldn't speak on something.
Yeah, he keeps bringing it up too. It's funny. Let's dive into your girl real quick. Pause. Caitlin Clark. I think she's got 20 of that's 21 or something.
I mean, she's been just dropping 20 and 10, 27 and 5, just hooping really from an individual standpoint. Got a lot of stuff she got to figure out, of course. It's only been 4 games in, so like she's getting over-evaluated right now, but she's doing her thing.
So this was their second closest game. They lost by 2, or this was their closest game. They lost by 4 a couple of days ago. They lost by 2. They're getting closer to winning a game.
Mm-hmm.
So give me your assessment on her through 5 games.
Okay, I think she needs to get in the weight room during the offseason, get stronger, gain a little weight, because right now I'm seeing them kind of bully her a little bit. Just she's not able to get in certain positions as easy as she, was doing in college. Even on defense, I think, her getting a little stronger will help her become, a better defender, slide her feet a little better, be able to go through picks instead of getting knocked down so easily. On the bright side, we see flashes of greatness. I mean, the jump shot is still there. The handle, the step backs is still there. Her passing ability is still there. She's has to work on her turnovers more for sure. I think that's just a matter of just learning the speed of the game, getting used to your teammates. Again, the difference between women's basketball and men's basketball is there's a quick turnaround. She just played in the Natty like it was a month and a half ago or something like that. I don't even know if it was that long. And then boom, you're already with this new team and trying to figure stuff out. So I think as the more games they get, she'll get better with the turnovers. And but yeah, I mean, she's a scorer, she's a shooter, she can pass the ball. I'm seeing all those flashes. She just needs to get stronger, better identity with the team, her teammates. And that all just comes with reps. But nothing has been super alarming for me. I didn't think she was going to come in and drop 40 every single game. That's nuts. I got too much respect for the other players and who's been in WNBA, who's done this for a long time. But, I mean, you watch the games, they are guarding her like she's the best player in the world. They're picking her up full court. She's getting all the attention. And that alone should just tell you what type of player she is, because if a player ain't that good, you ain't going to get the type of respect and type of attention. But every single game, they're on her like that. And she's still dropping 20s, 7 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, or some similar stat line to that. Now it has to equate to wins, and I do think they'll get that first win here coming soon. But she's on a bad team. The fever's been bad for years, so one player is not going to solve everything immediately. But I do think they'll start getting things rolling here in the next few games. So
yeah, I don't really give a shit. All right, let me. I want to give a shout out to the Florida Panthers in the NHL. They won 3-0 game 1 yesterday. Tonight, Edmonton, Dallas plays. Florida lost in the finals last year to Vegas. And Pat and I were there. The game, they won it all. We were in Vegas when it happened. It was crazy. Edmonton, Dallas a lot of people think the winner of that series is the best team, the two best teams left. But Florida just has been there. I think Florida's maybe the time is right for Florida Panthers in the NHL to get it done. They've been really good over the last few years in hockey. So I want to give a little hockey NHL shout out since we don't talk about it too much on this show.
I'll give a shit.
In breaking news, if you haven't heard by now, a lot of you have, I'm sure, that watch the tickers across different sports outlets. Again, player empowerment has ruled professional sports. A guy that I think did a hell of a job and made Cleveland relevant again, Bickerstaff, was fired this morning. Again, we cater to the player in this business. I get it. They get the money. But at the end of the day, man, it's like, damn, this guy opted out of playing the last 2 games. Your star, Donovan Mitchell, don't play the last 2 games. And you have an opportunity to tie the series against Boston 2-2. You don't play, and they go up 3-1. The rest of the series is over.
He was hurt, though, but I hear you.
Is it a telltale sign that they're going to try to put all their eggs in one basket, get LeBron back to finish his career, get Bronny, make this happen? Pat Perez heard very interesting take last night, and I want you to hear it. And he said, I can say it. He was with some very influential people with the Phoenix Suns organization. He knows the owners well. He golfs with them. He sits courtside Phoenix Suns games quite often. And he was told that if this happens, he told me first. And I'm going to tell you what he told me.
Okay.
That LeBron James is going to make a push, which we already know, to play with his son, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But it most likely will not be with the Lakers. And a 90 percentile chance that it will be with the San Antonio Spurs.
No way. Stop playing with me, man. Pat Perez, stop playing with us right now on the show like this.
San Antonio Spurs, he said, I think have the 4th pick. We'll pick Bronny James. LeBron will get rid of his no trade because he can get rid of his own no trade. The Lakers, obviously, if that was the case, he would go to San Antonio for 1 year, retire there after the 1 year, but get to play with his son. And the Phoenix Sun organization has told him that that's very highly and very likely because LeBron's favorite coach is
Pop.
Pop.
So you saying so you got LeBron James, who's been the face of the league for the last 20 years. You got Victor Wembanyama, who people are assuming is going to be the next face. They're going to play together it's like LeBron passing the torch to Victor. They're going to bring in his son, Lil Bronny with the 4th overall pick in the very first round after 1 year USC where he didn't play a lot because of multiple reasons. Wow. And then
so listen to the rationale.
They're gonna bring in Trae Young. Like what else they gonna do? Donovan Mitchell.
Well, are you talking about the Lakers or San Antonio?
I'm saying the Spurs. Like LeBron want to win, I'm sure, or he don't care about winning no more.
He want to play with the Sun, number one.
That's it. No matter what. Gotcha.
Yeah. So let me ask you this though. It's very interesting. I said that to some other people yesterday, and they looked at me side-eyed and was like, "I think it is too." Basketball heads. They said that they've heard similar talks. So it's not out there yet, but it's starting to be. So when we break news again and this happens, I would be shocked, to be honest, leaving LA for San Antonio. But if it is the only place to play for his son, here's the rationale, though. Think about it. If you're Pop and you're in what we think the worst draft ever in NBA history is going to be this year. There's not a player in the draft at 4 you're going to get to win right now, right?
True. Damn.
So why not take Bronny James to get LeBron for 1 year with Wembanyama? You can go get some role players like they did in Miami and Cleveland to play for the league minimum and get you some shooters around those guys. And you're not going to get a guy in the draft to get you over the hump. So what the fuck does it matter at number 4 to take Bronny James? So the shit makes sense that Pat told me. It really does. A lot of you might not want to hear it or see it, but it makes sense, and you heard it here first.
We gotta drop this only because if it does happen, Pat's the man, you the man, we the show. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this changes the game. If we break that LeBron's going to the Spurs, but months before it happens and it actually happens, we getting that contract, JB. We getting that big deal contract that we've been trying to get for years. It's coming. Post that on the headline. LeBron is going to San Antonio. Boom. That's all you need.
Let me ask you this right now.
Don't ask me nothing.
Here's another reason and give you some rationale. Why haven't the Lakers hired?
Because they don't know what LeBron's going to do yet. And they don't want to hire JJ if LeBron ain't going to be here.
JJ's the guy only for LeBron. So if you haven't hired a coach yet, there's a reason why the most historic franchise in the world hasn't hired a coach yet. So why haven't you? Why did you get Coach K and then all of a sudden talk stopped on the JJ Redick thing if this San Antonio Spurs thing is now in fruition? So now think about it and let it all set in with everyone out there that we're taking hot takes and all that old shit. You can say you want what you want, but we're giving you actual points to think about, and no other show is going to say that today. So I'm just telling you.
NBA draft is June 26, 27. So if your theory is correct, the Lakers won't hire a coach until at least that point to just see what's going to happen.
Well, no, it'll happen before that because Bron will know and get clarification from whoever. Because listen, let's be honest. Bailey, can you pull up the first 10 NBA drafting teams? So you got Detroit at 5. I believe the Spurs are 4. Where's Charlotte? I think Charlotte's in there. I think Atlanta's 1.
You got Atlanta at 1, Washington at 2.
All right, so let's stop right there. So Atlanta not taking Bronny, right? Atlanta's not taking Bronny, right? Atlanta's trying to win, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You cutting out.
You hear me?
Nah, you cutting out. You're paused. You're not even on the screen. I don't know. I can't even see you or hear you. Bailey, I don't know if it's me or I can't see him or hear him. So listen. Bailey, Atlanta's 1. Bailey, pop in real quick. Tell me I can't see who's in. So Atlanta's 1?
I don't know who's here. I'm trying to find the order for you.
All right, Atlanta's 1.
No, refresh your thing.
Atlanta's 1.
Atlanta, Washington, Houston, San Antonio, Detroit.
All right, so shit. I'm just looking at it, dog. Atlanta ain't taking them. Washington ain't taking them.
Yeah, good point. Spurs at 4. Very good. And they also have the 8th pick, though. I don't know if you saw. So they have 2 picks in the top 10.
So my point is, I believe they'll talk, and I'm sure they're going to let LeBron know, hey, we're going to take him. And then I'm sure LeBron has enough clout in this business or agents to say, hey, we're not taking him. Atlanta, telling LeBron we're not going to take your son. Charlotte, Washington. And then if Pop says we are, then I think the balls get rolling.
Absolutely. I mean, I think the powers that be, if that's what LeBron wants, I think ultimately that's what will happen.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know what the hell happened with my internet.
All right, cool. Glad you fixed it, Darnell. Good to see you.
That's you, Bailey.
So Smitty, what we were saying is Atlanta's not taking them.
Yep.
Washington ain't gonna take them.
Yep.
I believe I just told Bailey. I believe that the LeBron has enough clout and power in this league to get agents talking to say, hey, we're not taking your son in Atlanta. Washington would call LeBron and his people and say, we're not taking him. Charlotte, whatever. And I think Pop says, hey, we are taking him. The ball gets rolling on this deal. Like, the Lakers can't take him. I think the Lakers would lose so much. I don't know if it was integrity or what, but the Lakers are too close with AD and LeBron and playing Denver as well as they did. You know, they're close. I think they're
close. Close to what?
Well, if they get younger, I'm saying. If they go get some younger guys, they get free agency, they go get a star, a Donovan Mitchell or Trae Young or some other star, which they need. We know the Lakers need another guy. If they go out and get another guy, they're closer than San Antonio right now.
Yeah, but look, Greg Popovich is getting old too. You don't think he don't want to go out with a bang and like win though as well? Like, why would he just?
That's what I'm saying. Who would you get other than LeBron and go get some free agents?
Yeah, LeBron 42 years old, and then Bronny, we don't know what Bronny's going to be. I wish him the best. I'm not rooting against the kid at all.
He's 39. He's about to be 40. LeBron ain't no fucking 42.
You know, black people. We always round shit up, make it sound better.
I'm just saying, dog. We're throwing out some shit out there that just could happen. I'm just telling you. By the way, San Antonio has an 8th pick too.
Well, maybe they get Bryant with the 8th pick.
Well, they got 4 and 8 though. Why? Okay, what's the difference between 4 and 8 in this draft?
Listen,
San Antonio's not getting a star at 4 or at 8.
I know we saying this, but there's some foreign motherfuckers in this draft that I know we are, but the foreigners, these ones is hooping. In San Antonio, they love being the foreign guys.
Are they going to get San Antonio over the hump to win a title? No.
We never know. The Nuggets, they know Jokic was going to get them over the hump. They didn't know that.
So, Smitty, hold on. So if I asked you a poll question right now, would you take anyone in the draft over LeBron James? What would you say?
Over LeBron James?
Yeah, anyone in this draft over LeBron James? No, you would not. You're taking LeBron James over anyone in this draft.
I don't know that, but no, because LeBron's gonna play there for a year and then retire. So now I'm back at square one. It's not like I'm getting 8 years of prime LeBron. I'm getting one, maybe 2 years of LeBron, maybe, and that's it. So I'm gonna sacrifice my future potentially, because at the end of the day, let's keep it funky. We never know what any draft pick is going to do. I don't care how good they was in college. We never know what they're going to do. So there's always a risk. So one of these cats will probably be good as fuck, and we'll probably change franchises. We just don't know. So it's always a roll of the dice. It just sounds weird that a Greg Popovich, who's a legend, would not waste a pick. I don't want to disrespect Bronny, but you know what I'm saying. Like the number 4 overall pick on a guy like that doesn't make sense.
Two things cannot be true though. Now, see, you're sucking out both sides of your mouth right now. You just made a great point. You just said Popovich is old. There's no way that he is in developmental mode on a rookie. So he will take LeBron James over a rookie all day long because he wants to retire going out with a bang. So why not, if LeBron's favorite coach is him and LeBron's Pop's favorite player, and I'm risking getting Bronny so that those two can play together. You have Wembanyama, who's first-team All-NBA, Rookie of the Year. You have the guy there. You can build around
that's not enough, is what I'm trying to tell you.
I know it's not, but there's my point. You can go get you some free agents. You got to at least take that opportunity and shot in the dark over a guy in the draft that we all have said, and every major person that I've heard talk that knows basketball at the elite level has said this is the worst draft in recent history. So if that's the case, why would you risk taking a rookie to go along with a second-year rookie in a team that has a total rebuild in San Antonio? You might as well go get LeBron, his city son, and go get some guys around him. Go get some guys around them so those two can play together. And listen, we always talk about the media is already anointed LeBron as this player. Then if that's the truth, then obviously the NBA is also anointing and will honor LeBron James' request to play with his son. That is where I'm at. That's what I'm thinking, dog. That's what I'm thinking. That's it. That's all I'm saying.
It makes sense. I give it to it. Makes sense.
I mean, it's not that far. It's not like crazy. I'm just telling you. I don't know. Like what? I don't know. Bickerstaff being fired in Cleveland. Oh, go ahead. You got something else to say?
I'll ask you this: if the Spurs don't do it, though, you think it's a no-brainer? The Lakers are picking up Ronnie. Like no, at that point.
I think the Lakers will actually allow this to happen for him to leave because I don't think the Lakers can do it. So let me ask you: you're going to have we don't know, but let's say you have a first-year head coach in JJ Redick. You didn't help JJ Redick. You got a year older LeBron that you do a podcast with. You got a year older AD that's very fragile, to say the least. You did not get better as an organization. And you drafted Bronny. This is committing professional suicide again, what we talked about earlier. This is a Steve Nash scenario without the talent. This Brooklyn Nets team was much more talented than this goddamn team for a first-year head coach to inherit. Steve Nash had to deal with ego issues with 3 superstars that they had and then get Ben Simmons and then deal with all that bullshit. This is a whole nother ballgame. This is the Lakers. The coach they just fired did a hell of a job. He took them to the West Conference Finals in year 1, and then in year 2, he takes Denver to 5 in really close games. He was actually coaching. You can see it. They'll fire him, dog. They'll fire you in a heartbeat in L.A. L.A. fires coaches like this. This is the Lakers. It's not the Clippers. It's not the Charlotte Hornets. This is the Lakers. The Lakers need picks. They need assets. They need youth, athletic wing players. They need shooters. How do you hire J.J. Redick and draft Bronny? The Laker fan base would be up in arms. The OGs would be up in arms. This is not a normal OG alumni organization. The organization alums are guys like this: Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant's whole family, James Worthy, Jerry West. This is a list that goes on and on. Byron Scott's already come out and said, man, make Bron the head coach. Like, these guys are fed up with as many. The Lakers should not have the turnover that they have at the coaching position if they're running things the right way as an organization that leads the league in championships or with Boston. So, this is not something you walk into. Like, you walk into a Cleveland Cavs job over this job right now just to say, I'm not really under the same amount of pressure, even though the pressure is real crazy in the NBA right now to win. You just fired Bickerstaff. So it doesn't really matter what team you go to, but the Lakers, homie? Listen, I don't know what you do, but Bronny James clearly is not helping the Lakers. Let's just be honest. So think about it.
It's gonna be interesting, man. I don't know.
You're saying you're on the other side of the San Antonio thing, saying the Lakers are going to grab him just so they can play together and be shitty.
I think the Lakers, as much of a Lakers fan as I am, I do we love winning, but they also love putting on a show and selling tickets. And I think they'll want to try to appease LeBron and keep him there, and they know what type of tickets that those generate and sell. If you have Bronny starting a game with LeBron right there, and Lakers will still be decent because they still got AD, still got LeBron. So even with adding Bronny, he'll still be solid. It's not like adding Bronny's gonna make them shitty now. Like, no, he's gonna be a guy who's out there, and hopefully he'll knock down some open threes or something like that. Right?
I don't get your take. So San Antonio should draft a Euro rookie, but the Lakers shouldn't.
Well, no. I'm talking about. Don't confuse this with should. I'm not saying should, nothing. I said I think the Lakers, they will do it. I didn't say they should do it. Bronny hasn't shown me enough yet. But who am I? I'm not an NBA guy. I'm seeing mixed reviews on him. You know, he had his pro day yesterday, and guys
I haven't seen any mixed reviews. I've seen nothing but GM saying.
Well, he had his pro day yesterday, though. Now I'm hearing more things. People are like, okay, he looks like an NBA guy. Like other NBA players are saying it. Now they could be saying it because they're friends with LeBron. I get that.
I haven't seen one GM come out and say he's an NBA guy. Not one GM guy has said that this guy's an NBA guy. Every single GM and scout has said this is not an NBA guy. He can't defend anyone over 6 foot. He can't run the offense as a 6 foot guard. And I've heard not one guy say he's an NBA guy, not from a scout or a GM. So only players
have said it.
Media and players. That's it.
Yeah, media and players said it. I respect players' opinions because they the motherfuckers out there actually doing it. We know GMs ain't always right. A lot of times they're wrong. So I don't know what that means. Again, I'm not saying he can't. I just haven't seen enough. We literally haven't seen enough because he didn't play a lot at SC. He had the heart condition. He didn't even start the season off well, and his numbers just ain't showing it. Is he fully developed yet? No, he ain't fully developed yet. So maybe he ends up becoming that. He still has LeBron in his blood. He still has his dad in his blood. So maybe he could be that. I don't know. I'm not saying anybody should draft him. I think he should go back to college for one more year, see what he can do, and then come out. But I do understand that this is the weakest draft in a long time. So from his standpoint, it probably makes sense that if I'm gonna ever come out, this would be the year to do it. Because what you said earlier a few minutes ago about the Spurs is like, the number 4 pick probably ain't gonna be a game changer, so we might as well just pick up Bronny. So I'm not saying anybody should. I just think the Lakers, if the Spurs don't do what you just broke news and said, I think the Lakers are going to pick him up because they want to appease LeBron and sell tickets, and that's what it is.
Somebody said Blitzberg said he can shoot better than his dad. He can't get the fucking shot off in the NBA, homie. You see how slow his release is? The motherfucker can't get a shot off in the NBA. It doesn't matter if he hits it on air. He can't shoot over anyone in the NBA. Stop. He's a fuck.
But yeah, I hear you. But he wouldn't be a guy that's like creating his own shot though. Like his role in the NBA will be a 3-and-D guy. He's a good defender. He's a smart player, can make a little bit for other people. But at the end of the day, he'll be a 3-and-D guy. Play hard defense, go in the corner and fucking stand there and let your dad draw in the defense, pass it out, wide open shot. That's going to be his game. And can he do it? We'll see.
Listen, quit comparing fucking Luka to Bronny James.
Oh, yeah.
Luka's 6'8", homie.
Stop.
I know. Luka's 6'8". No shit. He's a slow shooter. He's 6'8".
Don't even give that no attention, JB. That don't even make sense.
All right. So look, a debate going on between Draymond Green sitting in on TNT's. By the way, the greatest show on earth ever is done. TNT NBA on TNT is over. The NBA signed a lucrative deal with ESPN, I believe. And now the TNT crew will be split up.
I think it's one more year left, and it's a wrap.
Your thoughts on that real quick, and then we're going to take the debate between Shaq and Draymond Green to end the show.
Super sad, man. It's been going on for so long. Literally dinner my whole life almost, which is crazy. Hell of a show, man. They're funny. They're natural. I mean, they give you a little bit of basketball analysis with Kenny Smith, but a lot of it's just real talk, locker room talk, opinions, big personalities. It's fun. It's entertaining. It's the best halftime show that I've seen, period. And it's a shame that we have to see it go away. I was hoping they find a way to bring them all to NBC and keep the show going, but I think because of contracts, situations, and other things that Ernie does with the network, it just wouldn't work out that way. So then we just got to embrace this last year. Everything can't last forever, but I'm definitely gonna miss the show for sure.
Yeah, and like I said, Barkley and Pat are neighbors. They're really tight. There was an opportunity for Barkley to go to the Live Golf and call the Live.
Mm-hmm.
They offered him 60. TNT offered him 80. He stayed, and now that 2-year deal is over, and Barkley could be in the Live Golf world after next year. So I'm just throwing that out there. Another, you call it hot take, but don't be surprised if Barkley is calling the Live Golf in a year and a half. Let me ask you. There's a take out there. Draymond Green and Shaq got into a debate about the Lakers in 01 and the 15 Warriors. Of course, Draymond stays on this crazy shit. Go ahead. What is it about?
They just having a debate. Like, these are two all-time, I guess you could say, great teams, and they're just saying, like, if they faced each other in the playoff, in the championship, who would win? So they were just going back and forth. Shaq was like, okay, who's going to guard me? Draymond's like, well, it wouldn't be one individual guarding you. It would be more of a defensive scheme that we think could at least slow you down. No one's going to stop you, but we can at least slow you down. He said, in the example he threw out there, he said, I would front guard you, and we would have Bogut behind you, basically saying the way that we would slow you down is by denying you the ball. Shaq was saying, bro, they did that to me. Like, they tried that. Like every defense they've ever, and you could think of, they tried against me. It won't work. Draymond said, yeah, but I wasn't out there. Okay, I respect you saying that from your perspective. I feel you. Boom. And then so the first 5 minutes was all about Shaq. And then Shaq was like, all right, who's guarding Kobe? And Draymond paused for a minute. He said, Clay. Shaq looked at him and just turned his head and didn't even say, just shook his head. And I like Clay a lot. Prime Clay was a good defender. I'm not going to disrespect him, but come on, man.
First of all,
and that's prime. Hold on, that's 01. That's 01 Kobe. That's young, athletic, explosive. Like, come on, bro.
And Shaq was still very in prime.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
First of all, Draymond Green is nowhere close to Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman was the only guy to try to actually front and rear Shaquille O'Neal and do decently. Draymond's no Dennis Rodman, number one. Number two, that didn't work.
Right.
So
right.
I know Draymond is not going to work. Now, number two, there's clips out there you can go on and find, YouTube or what have you, that Kobe absolutely locked down Steph Curry in his prime. I mean, locked Steph down, and there wasn't a player on that team stopping Kobe. And this is later Kobe. This is 15 Kobe.
Right.
Not 01 Kobe.
Right.
So, so just to be real honest, come on, dog.
And be real, D-Fish, D-Fish ain't locking Steph. Ain't nobody gonna lock Steph down for a whole series. But D-Fish was, he gonna make it tough. He's strong. He gonna chase you around. So we haven't talking about the role players.
Yeah, I don't even need to. The bottom line is, I think it's a clean sweep. It would be a sweep, and I don't think there would be a game that's even close.
It'd be a sweep. Now I think Lakers will win.
But I ask a question though. I'm running a history check in my brain right now without looking. Bailey, the 15 team, is he referring to the team that broke the record but didn't win the title?
Yeah, I think so.
So his team didn't even win the fucking title, and he's trying to compare it against a team that went 15-1 and won the NBA championship.
I think you're right. I think that's the year. Yep. I think because KD came the neck in 16. I think they have a better argument using the KD team, if anything, but they're not even using it. They're using the 15 without KD. So I'm like, y'all ain't even.
Come on, man.
Y'all ain't got enough.
Come on, man.
I get
Eddie. I gotta address Eddie. Eddie's over here trying to come on the show. Listen, we're gonna take calls, but we're doing it in a real better way once we get into the studio. So stop it, Eddie. Relax. I know you're in Compton. You're probably at fucking Louis Burgers. I don't know, but I'm just telling you, dog. People don't really run and break down Kobe Bryant in his prime. Everyone talks about the Shaq deal, and he was Batman to Shaq. I mean, he was Robin to Shaq's Batman. I don't agree with that at all. And Kobe averaged over 30 fucking points a game with Shaquille O'Neal, the most ball-dominant player of all time. So I don't know if you realize that he averaged 30, homie.
Right.
Stop.
You brought up Kobe. You brought up Kobe earlier briefly with Steve Kim, and Steve was like, "Oh, don't bring up that guy." I didn't feel like arguing and swaying the conversation when he was talking about Jordan.
What he meant, I know Steve actually is Kobe's his second. He's number 2 to Jordan. Kobe is. So he was saying he
still was like, don't even bring him up.
No. He was referring to Ant, but like, don't even bring it up with Kobe or Jordan. He didn't say that about Kobe to Jordan. Nah, that's not how I took it. I took it that he.
That's how I took it, because at first we said Ant, and then you had brought up Kobe, and he was like, "Nah, don't bring up that guy either." That's how I took it. Maybe I go back and listen.
Nah, he was talking about Ant to Kobe or Jordan, because he was just hot about the whole bringing up Ant, comparing them to those guys.
Okay, I took it the wrong way, but
yeah.
Regardless, Kobe's a different breed, man. I feel like people just have revisionist history. Like people just don't remember. Like I don't know. Like they don't. It's like I was watching a different game or something.
Nah, I talk to Steve all the time. Steve says Kobe's the closest thing to Jordan, if anything, is Kobe. So Steve and I have had these conversations. Steve agrees Kobe's right there with Jordan. He's just a Jordan guy. He's older. He's a Jordan guy full and through. I'm a Kobe guy full through and through. I got Jordan at 2 for me. Kobe would be my 1. And I love that the old heads are coming out now and talking about since when, and how did Kobe just get passed over? And I say it all the time on the show, because it's what have you done for me lately? It's about relevancy. It's about recency bias. It's all about recency biasy and what we do in the media now. And Kobe's gone and lost and forgotten, and that's just the truth.
Yeah.
And like, come on, man, go watch the skill set. LeBron's not even close. I'm talking skill sets. It's not even close. There's difference between great freaks of nature, athletic guys, and then there's freaks of nature that are athletically gifted and skilled. Jordan and Kobe were athletically freaks and skilled. LeBron is not skilled. LeBron, you cannot sit here and tell me LeBron is the best at one single thing. He's not the best passer. He's not the best rebounder. He's not the best defender. He's not the best shooter. He doesn't do anything that's the best. He is the greatest longevity of all time and maybe the most freakish natured athletes, but he's not the most skilled guy. That's
to LeBron's defense, I'll say this though. He may not be the best in any of those categories you listed, but he's like one of the best in all the categories you listed. He's one of the best passers. He's one of the best scorers, because literally he's the all-time scorer. He's one of the best rebounders. He's one of the best. So like that,
but like let's say
LeBron defenders, he's one of the best in so many categories. That's why they deem him as the best.
But it's crazy because I've seen all these comparisons, and if you put the same years on LeBron and the same as Kobe and Jordan, LeBron's not even close statistically to those guys at the same era and the same amount of years played. Not even close.
I had to see it.
Yeah, look at it. LeBron's played, I think, 3 times more playoff games than Jordan, and I think he's played 3 times more games, period, and still per average is behind Kobe and Jordan in scoring. So, like,
he's not a better scorer. Like,
I'm just saying, there's a lot of stats. If you add 6 years to the situation, which LeBron has, he's played longer than everybody. He's up there with Kareem now as far as years. Of course, longevity matters, in my opinion. If anything, if you play longer, you're gonna have more stats. Period. That's just fact. There's no debating it. He's played longer than anybody. Hey, shout out to him for playing this long.
And shout out to him for also not just playing long just to hang around, playing at a pretty high level still at this long. That's something we haven't seen before. I will give him that. But I agree with you, JB, that just because you play at a higher level for longer, I don't necessarily look at that as saying, "Oh, you're just the best." Nah, I want to know your prime 15 years or whatever, 12 years versus everybody else's prime 15 year whatever. Who was just better? That's how I look at it. Like, because at a certain point, it's like, all right, like if you thought LeBron was the GOAT at year 15, then you like wherever you thought he was at that point is where you think he's at now. Like, there's nothing he can do right now unless he goes to win back-to-back championships right now, which he's not going to do. There's nothing he can do right now to sway me any direction. He's number 3 on my all-time list. That's where he's going to be at. If you have him as the GOAT, then that's where he's going to be. Like, wherever you got LeBron at this point, he's played for so damn long that it just is what it is. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, at some point, it is what it is.
And I look at the optics, what I see, what I saw, what I saw then, and what I see. And listen, you can talk stats all you want. That's the whole Patrick Mahomes thing and all this other shit. I know what I saw, though, and I know what I see. And I also know the dog in you, the killer in you, and that nasty, tenacious, on the ball, playing 90 feet all day, no flopping, crying, moaning, bitching. I see that, and I know what I saw with straight killers at that time. There ain't no killers no more. Those dudes were actually, quote unquote, in the professional sport. I hate to use the word killer because we have actual soldiers in wars that are killers. Navy SEALs are killers. But I that's why I hate using that term.
I know what you mean. We know what you mean, though, bro.
But there is no dog in these dudes, and LeBron definitely don't have that Kobe, Jordan, killer mentality. Let's just keep it funky. If any of you all out there really think LeBron has that dog in him, you're delusional. I'm just going to be honest. That is fact. The fact of it is you see the LaFlop era versus a guy blowing his Achilles and shooting 2 more free throws in a game that he had 35 points in against a 24-year-old Klay Thompson in his prime. So you want to go rewind that 14 years and go to 0-1, Kobe? Are you fucking out of your mind? We'll drop this mic on that. Great show. Tell the Truth Thursday. That's what it was. Tomorrow is Free Game Friday. Jeff Nadu joins us. Big Matt will join us. And Shaun King will wrap the show up for the last hour. We'll break the entire NFC down for an hour. Rank our quarterbacks per division, plus our rosters that I'll do all the work on today. Again, like I tried to give you guys a great analysis of the AFC. We'll do the same with the NFC. And the one topic will be, to start the show, will be Dak Prescott in contract talks and what he stated today, that he doesn't play for money. We're going to dive into the Cowboys, of course, and their quarterback situation moving forward. We're going to dive into that as well. So where would Kobe be without Shaq, Low Rich? He would have 2 more rings like he does. So I don't know. Do I need to go any further? Like, I'm just there. Who has more rings without each other? Can I wait? Can I wait to hear? Oh, my bad. All right. You know what Kobe would be? He'd be with Paul Gasol winning 2 more titles.
Pound that like, man. Subscribe. Join our winnable game, man. We making all types of picks. I told y'all from the beginning of the playoffs, man, I felt something special about the Mavs. Y'all didn't believe me. If y'all would have put money on the Mavs making it this far, you probably would have came out with a little bit of bread. Join winnable game, man. Don't miss out. And JB, man, any final words?
Yeah, where was LeBron without Ray Allen, Kyrie Irving, and Bosh and Dwayne Wade? We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.
Issues get pressed so fast, you don't get sacked like bags and baggage. Smitty and Jason Brown, kill the, yeah, it's a rap. We what the game's been missing, we switched it and filled the gap.